Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
We're live.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous, what is today's, is it Tuesday?
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. It is a beautiful Wednesday here. I'm rolling on 5 hours of sleep because Dusty and Danny decided that they wanted to get me for an 8 o'clock Sirius XM hit this morning, Jonathan.
Yeah.
And you know me, stream closes at 10 o'clock. My adrenaline's just pumping through the roof. Way too caffeinated for 10 o'clock at night. Went for a run and a workout after the stream last night. Go to bed about 1:30. These are my problems. Nobody else's problems. And then I realized, oh crap, I've got to get up at 7:30 tomorrow, and like normal people do, and then go to do a radio hit. And now I'm washed. I'm absolutely washed. But here we are. We are ready for a Wednesday night stream. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Football is back, Jonathan.
It is.
It's 100% back. Not that Fugazi back like we've been talking about the last couple weeks, just hoping and praying that you'll pay attention to us because football is back. No. Football is officially back. Fall camp has started up across the country. We got football all over the place being played. Practices left and right. We got camp intel for you guys tonight. We went through the internet. Called sources, called beat reporters, called everybody we could, got some intel for you guys tonight on all things camp started out. We have intel and reactions from those guys and gals all across the country. Day one intel and takeaways coming tonight. We got teams that are a year away tonight. Mm-hmm. That's what we got. We got teams that are a year away tonight. What if Wednesday? Because, of course, it's a Wednesday, despite the fact that I didn't remember that it was a Wednesday. And, Jonathan, we got perhaps the best title of a segment that we've ever had. Do you know what that title is?
What is that?
Bugatti in a trailer park. We're going to talk about some Bugattis that are parked out in the trailer park tonight. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, rate, and review. We are well past 100,000 subscribers. In fact, we're well past 100,000 subscribers into 100.2 territory on tonight's stream. So thank you guys for the support. An absolutely loaded show for you guys. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing, and telling a friend. Still need you to call and tell a friend. If you haven't called and told a buddy about this place, you're a bad friend. We've been telling you that all off season, and now is the time more than ever to be locked into this place. Film studies every single day coming out on this platform. Live streams Monday through Thursday every single week on this platform. And in a couple of weeks, we got Sunday Reaction Show kicking off at noon on this here network. So it's a great time to be here on the Film Guy Network. And most importantly, we got brand new Wi-Fi around here.
Yep.
So if any problems happen to the stream tonight, I can without a doubt tell you 110% chance it's YouTube's fault. It is not us. Okay, it is not us. I went out and got some high quality fiber internet pumped up into this place. For a nice little deal as well. I did some bargain shopping on that thing. Just told the guy, man, I got a huge platform. If you want me to show some love, you better give me some free Wi-Fi. And he's like, I can't do that. I didn't do that at all. I paid what he asked me to pay. So we had to get it. I was tired of streams dropping. I was tired of interviews dropping. So we got great stuff around here on the Wi-Fi front and hopefully on the streaming front for you guys. All right. No need to bury the lead. Let's talk camp notes, Jonathan. How you doing today, by the way?
I'm doing fantastic. Always a little bit of a switch up when I'm sitting in the other chair now.
Yeah, you need to go ahead and bump that camera angle up a little bit, because that man Kirby, not quite as tall as you.
I zoomed it out a little bit for myself.
No, you ain't got to zoom it out. Just bump it up a little bit, center yourself a tad bit, because that man Christian Kirby, about 7 inches shorter than you.
Yeah, it's true. I know. Again, like I said, it's always a little funky sliding over the other chair. I got some new responsibilities to take care of, different type of camera angle. I'm trying my best right now to fulfill that role at the moment.
You're doing a great job.
Well, thank you.
You're doing a great job. And maybe he was fired,
Oh, maybe?
Maybe.
I didn't get word of this.
Maybe he was fired. Maybe.
Yikes. We get to 100K and people start dwindling, huh?
Hey,
Casualties
I
happen.
told you playing from day one, I'm going to blow up and act like I don't know nobody. Shout out to Riff Raff. That was the plan from day one. Blow up and act like I don't know nobody. Nah, he'll be back on Monday. I'm sure. I'm sure he'll be back on. I don't know. He's not going to be here tomorrow, right?
No.
Okay, he'll be back on Monday. And I can guarantee you, unlike you, he is not watching this stream right about now.
You know,
but good reasons.
Yes.
I wouldn't be watching no stream if I was at a bachelor party either.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Bachelor party on a Wednesday.
That's a long bachelor trip.
Oh, okay. They out of town?
Yes. I don't know exactly where. I just know somewhere at the beach, I believe.
You guys tend to talk a little bit more than he and I, so I didn't know if you had actual details on
I have
this.
a few details, but that's about it.
You got the deets.
He was
All right.
concerned for his liver. That's all I know.
Really? I ain't never seen the man drink as much as one whiskey on the rocks, and that's about it.
He told me last night that he thinks he might be allergic to alcohol, honestly. That's his theory.
Well, that would be accurate because we all are. It creates a reaction inside your body. That's how you become intoxicated. We are all allergic to alcohol. But hey, have some fun, Christian Kirby. Have some fun, Vacation Kirby. We'll see you back whenever we see you. Camp takeaways from day one. There are plenty. Where do you want to start, Jonathan?
I mean, honestly, my timeline, and this is usually how these things work, is as soon as football starts up in the spring or football starts back up for fall practice, the Texas Longhorns flood my timeline, and it's partially due to the fact that they have a whole lot of media members out there that do a good job of covering that program, and they get a whole lot of access to that program as well.
They get a lot of access to that program. They get to video practice. They get to stand out there for what seems to be an hour.
Yeah.
They get all the access in the world to the Texas Longhorns. Must be nice.
Yeah.
Must be nice for the businesses out there, and Lord knows there's some big beat reporting businesses out there in Austin, Texas, covering the Longhorns. So let's start with them. Arch Manning threw a bomb.
Sure did, yeah. You know, and this is one of those things that we get into when it comes to fall camp of you see the caption of a video first, and this is the one that this is the first one that I saw, right? Arch Manning starts practice off with a bomb, or something like Arch bombs are here. And it was a
15-yard comeback.
Yeah, it was like a 20-yard throw on a Dover. Like, all right, a bomb, a good throw on time. That's all great, but a bomb, I don't know if I'd call it that.
Saw a lot of Ryan Wingo clips today. Didn't see as much from the Cam Coleman propaganda.
Yeah, didn't
machine.
see Cam Coleman stuff.
Yeah, no. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's great. I'm sure he's out there, going to ball out as a very expensive transfer addition. I did see it was reported that Hollywood Smothers apparently took all of the first reps. All of the first reps. There's an impending battle there between he and Raleek Brown and maybe Derek Cooper, the freshman out there. But, yeah, it sounds like it's going to be the Hollywood Smothers show with a little sprinkling of Raleek Brown, which, by the way, probably the way it should be. I don't think Raleek Brown is a football player that needs 20 carries in a football game. I think he needs to be specialized in his role. That's when he can become the most explosive version of himself. Ain't no battle is by committee. See, that's what we're kind of getting at right here. I think all of those guys will have very specific roles in that offense, but reports were that most of the first reps throughout practice were taken by Hollywood Smothers. We'll see what it ultimately looks like. Lord knows they were hyping up the size of Derek Cooper.
Yeah, rightfully so.
And we're going to talk about this a lot tonight. Don't know why people are so surprised that 5 stars are big and fast. Don't know what that is. Don't know why people are like, oh my God, Faison Brandon's 6'3", 230. Yeah, 6'4", 230. Yeah, he's a big guy. Derek Cooper, yeah, big guy. He was big in high school. He's big now, maybe just a little bit bigger. But, yeah, when you are a 5-star out of high school, it's because you big and you fast, and you're really good at playing football. It's a height, weight, speed measurement and sport. That's what that is. And when we're projecting 18-year-olds to maybe be first-round draft picks 3 or 4 years from now, it helps if they're got good height, they got good weight, and they got good speed because there's not a lot of projection to be done with those football players. Speaking of 5 stars, freshman John Meredith, early enrollee, would have been a 2027 5-star, reclass to the 2026 class. Probably the latest reclassification I've ever seen. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, this happened like 2 weeks ago. It felt like he's on campus right now drinking through a fire hose. It looked to me like he got kind of like heat exhaustion preventative. Let's make sure Buddy's not overheating right now. Let's sit him out. 98 degrees out there in Austin, Texas today. They got a little bit of adversity, as Kirby Smart talks about with the weather. So, yeah, nice and hot out there in Austin, Texas. I also stumbled upon this, Jonathan. I got a new NIL, what do the kids call it, meta? Mm-hmm. I got a new meta for you offensive linemen out there. 2 things. 1, wear number 69. Your NIL going to go through the roof. People going to talk about you like you a god. But more importantly, have a middle bar face mask. If you got a middle bar face mask and wear 69, throw a mullet in there, buddy, you're going to be a millionaire immediately. Doesn't even matter if you're any decent. I love that. I couldn't ever wear the middle bar face mask because the one bar turns into 2 because you got 2 eyes and it's sitting right there, and then you're trying to look off in the distance, and now you have 2 bars floating. Trippy. And when I was first allowed to wear a non-bar face mask, I felt like I was in heaven come 6th grade, because when you're in Pop Warner football, they make the big fellas wear the single bars back in my day. Nowadays, everybody's wearing these Revo Speeds, and they just zip their helmet up, and they all look cool. Not back in my day. Back in my day, you had to look like a 1990s offensive lineman. And nowadays, if you choose to look like a 1990s offensive lineman, you're a god. Immediately, you are automatically a god. Any other notes from Texas's practice? Arch did look good today, all jokes aside.
Yeah.
It sounds like Lacey's going to be the backup there.
Yeah, that was
and Dia Bell has already kind of climbed over MJ Morris, excuse me. I don't know why I wanted to call him Marquise Morris. Probably because of the Morris twins and football brain. But yeah, Dia Bell looking like he's going to solidify that 3 spot, which he is the future. I mean, they paid him a lot of money to get out there. I would assume he was a 5-star Elite 11 MVP last year in that high school recruiting class. So yeah, Texas looks like they are Texas.
Yeah, the only other note that I had is, boy, did Justice Terry get bigger, it seems like. They put on some weight on him. Need a big year out of him also. Like one of these 5-stars that didn't immediately pop when he got to Texas. Maybe it just takes a year for him, and maybe he gets some things rolling. But need him to be a huge anchor in the middle of that defensive line this season.
Yeah, came out of high school at about 265 pounds. I saw today he's listed, or he's reported 290 pounds. Yeah. But you are right. They need a big hit on him this year. I think he only had maybe 15 total tackles last year, maybe not even that many.
Probably not that many.
Not that defensive line is based solely off of statistical production. We know that around here. Didn't feel like he got as much tick as I expected him to get, considering 5-stars nowadays almost have to play. And I think that kind of transitions us into LSU, Jonathan, because it seems Lamar Brown, the 5-star defensive lineman, is already running with the 2s as a true freshman. And Deuce Gerald's has already been the talk of town dating back to spring practice. So it looks like LSU is going to play 2 young defensive linemen in that rotation out there for the Tigers this year on defense.
And that's kind of something that has been a talking point a little bit for the Tigers over the past couple of seasons. You know, I can remember when they had Mason Smith and they had Harold Perkins really banging on the doorstep as a true freshman, and it seemed like that defense was really going to take off. And then Mason has the injury. He misses a season. Harold Perkins just kind of flows all around the defense, never really finds his home, and doesn't really expedite that process for him after a true freshman season. Seems like they might be trekking on that way now. It seems like they got some good young players on that defense. DJ Pickett being another one. Like, they got some good bodies over there.
Yeah, Pickett going into his sophomore year now, he's another one of these 6'5", damn near 6'6" corners that you're like, wait a minute, you play what when you walk up on him? A lot of that nowadays in football.
Did you see the news around him? Wearing number 5 this year. Hasn't been worn since Jaden Daniels played quarterback at LSU. Do you know why he's wearing number 5?
Why?
It was promised to him. That was part of the recruiting process for him. Number 5 was promised to him.
What did he wear last year? I don't even remember. 2?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I think it was a single digit. I don't know. Good football player.
Yes.
They're expected to he's expected to be a freak, so excited to watch him play. Also, did you know that Sam Levitt, it's as if he was never hurt?
I did see this from
Lane.
Lane.
Directly from Lane's mouth. It's like, if you watch Sam Levitt out there today, you would have never known he was ever hurt. So that's good news for LSU.
Honestly, in my mind, I had forgotten that he was injured. But then I also had something click in my brain where I was like, oh, yeah, Arizona State was out there starting. I believe it was Jeff Sims. That was who they were rolling with out there. So honestly, yeah, I forgot that he was even injured. Yeah, for sure.
Oof. Jeff Sims still doing it?
I don't think so.
Surely he's in Arena League football by now.
He is.
No chance. I mean, Justin Flo's still playing college football, so maybe.
I don't see anything about him still being around.
So Jeff Sims, man, Georgia Tech thought they had them when he first signed, huh? Yeah, ought to be interesting out there with Sam Levitt. I just wonder, Jonathan, I think he's going to be turnover prone. You know, we talked about this, and it applied to Lane Kiffin offenses prior to Trinidad, and I guess not even prior. I mean, Austin Simmons turned the ball over at a high rate before, Trinidad won that job. But who is it? Jackson Dart turned it over quite a bit his first year as a starter. I think had 15 total turnovers. The second year as a starter had under 8. Who is it? Matt Corral before him. Matt Corral had almost, I want to say like 18, almost 20 turnovers total his first year starting, and then dwindled it down quite a bit in year 2. It's a lot of that quick decisions, coach giving you the answer in his head, but what if the defense lied to me and coach? Now all of a sudden we turn the ball over. I don't know if they're going to avoid it in the first year with Sam Levitt. Do you feel confident about Sam Levitt being a flawless, not being a turnover machine guy?
Definitely not flawless. I don't know if he'll be a turnover machine. Like, turnover machine to me is like 12 interceptions.
Like Lagway.
Yeah, something along the lines of that. Like, that's what I think of when I hear turnover machine. I don't know if he'll be quite that. It is interesting to me that now that we do have the green dot and that Lane is able to talk to these quarterbacks, does that alleviate some of the issues? But we just talked about Austin Simmons struggled with it. But, like, is that just an Austin Simmons thing? Like, does he just struggle with seeing the field? Is that one of his hindrances as a quarterback? That'll be something to pay attention to. But no, I mean, Sam Levitt, based on the tape that we've watched, that dude's going to take risks. That dude doesn't see a pass he doesn't like. So I'm sure he'll throw his way into some turnovers this season. But I don't know if it'll be like at a high clip.
It's something that I've been told from sources at LSU that they've had to kind of have a conversation with him about, hey, play within our system a little bit more. You don't have to be this superhero. Let's just be a little bit more tempered in our attempts to drive the ball down the field and be explosive. Explosives will come in this system if you just play within the system and not try to do miraculous things like he felt like I would imagine he had to do at Arizona State.
Oh, for sure.
Despite the fact that he had a first-round wide receiver and a first-round tackle and $1 million running back.
Yeah.
It wasn't all that bad at Arizona State now that you think about it.
No, especially not 2 years ago.
No. All right, so that handles LSU and Texas. Alabama. Did you know that Alabama was being doubted this year, Jonathan?
You know, I don't know that they're being doubted. I've said that I feel like they aren't being talked about. Like, people really aren't talking about them all that much. All anybody wants to talk about is who's going to be the starting quarterback. I definitely don't think they're talking enough about how good that defense could be this year. I don't see enough love going around for that. But I know we've shown our love to that defense, and I know what people on this network believe that defense could be this season. But overall, I do kind of feel like they're not being talked about enough. But again, I wouldn't say that they're being doubted. Like, when I see the college football playoff predictions coming out right now, Alabama's almost always in the mix, it seems like.
Do you want your coach to be aware? Like, he was asked today, are you aware? Are you guys aware inside the building? Can you feel the sense of knowing that people you're the lowest ranked preseason team that's been here in the last, 15 years? It's probably been that long. And I think Kalen DeBoer's direct answer was, yes, we are aware. And had that I'm not happy about it look on his face as well. Do you want your coach to do that, or do you want your coach to do the John Summerall thing today where he was like, I don't give a damn about none of that? They actually had to ask John Summerall if he even votes for it. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I have to vote, so I do. Where do you want your coach to be? Do you want your coach to use outside narratives as fuel, or do you want your coach to be strictly no outside narratives? We don't care about any thoughts outside of the building.
So I don't know. That's a tough question to answer because I want to say maybe a little bit of both. Like, I think in Kalen DeBoer's situation, it probably does bode well for him to acknowledge that a little bit, because I think the fan base they relate to that a little bit. They'd like to hear that their head coach knows that, hey, yeah, we're being disrespected a little bit. How about we do something about that? So in that situation, I don't hate it too much. Most scenarios, though, I'd probably rather my coaches be like, oh, rankings were out. Like, that's a thing right now. We're talking about that. I don't even know where we were ranked. I don't care. I'd probably prefer that, but I don't think in this situation it was necessarily a bad thing that Kalen DeBoer somewhat acknowledged it, that he knew.
We're supposed to be analysts on this stage. We got a bunch of fans in the chat. So fans, you tell me, do you want your football coach to use and know and be aware of outside narratives, or are you the type that's like, that stuff does not matter, only worry about the stuff that we got going on? Because, I mean, Kalen DeBoer is not I don't feel like he's a high-low emotions guy. I feel like he's kind of flatline, almost monotone quite often.
Yeah.
I think that's also kind of like part of the reason why there's a lot of narrative about, him not being the right guy for the job and all that stuff, because he doesn't speak with this bravado all the time. Mm-hmm. But that was a different kind of attitude from him than normal, even in a short little 6-second soundbite. He was obviously perturbed by this.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say about this is it doesn't necessarily change anything, any way that I think about Alabama coming into the season. No. Because if anybody remembers correctly, so prior to the Florida State game last year, Thomas Castellanos was out there running his mouth about how they were going to beat up on Alabama. They were going to go out there and get a dub, and they did. But Alabama players were like, the disrespect will be handled with on the field. Didn't really show up for that one based on what we saw on film. That team did not seem ready to go out there and handle business.
The disrespect will be addressed.
Yes.
I think was the direct quote from Deontay Lawson.
Mm-hmm. It was not.
'Twas not. Yeah, so maybe it doesn't really matter what you do with it. Like you got to – I want my guys to be self-motivated. Mm-hmm. That's it. Like the only thing you have to chase is a better version of yourself tomorrow type stuff. That's the way we would speak all the time. In my building, if I had a building. That's the way we speak around here. Speaking of Alabama, Michael Carroll has gotten heavier.
Look good.
Michael Carroll up to 334 pounds, I think is what was listed. Played tackle last year. He's going to kick inside the guard this year. That's good news. It's good weight, too. It doesn't look like, we ate our way to 334. It looked like we worked our way. We weighted our way to 334.
Didn't look like some other former Alabama offensive lineman, to say the least.
You said it. I didn't.
Hey, not pointing fingers at anybody, but hey, just saying. There's some examples. Go out there and find them.
Hey, but that guy caught a pass one time.
He did. Sure did.
So that means he's a freak athlete.
Hey, first-round draft pick, so can't say much.
And he did that one thing where he jumped up on 2 boxes and did a split squat. You remember that one?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't remember that viral video?
I don't.
Oh, my God, look at this. Yeah, it's happened out there before. We'll see. Also, I'm not one to just like take every video that I see, especially during indies, as verbatim. But normally, the presumed starter is going to take the first snap. Yeah. And then the backup is going to take the second snap. The presumed starter right about now is Austin Mack, is what it looked like to me, based off practice footage that I saw today.
Yeah, unless it's one of those things where, like I know Georgia does this, where it's one of those things of, hey, today is Austin Mack's day. Austin Mack is going to be getting the majority of the ones reps today. He's the veteran in the room. He's going to get the nod today. Keelan Russell, it's your turn tomorrow, so prepare yourself for that, and they just kind of alternate reps like that. Could be one of those situations, but you're right. As of today, based on what we saw and heard, it seems like Austin Mack is so far QB1, if you will.
And what we were told yesterday is that Kalen DeBoer wants to name a starter within the first 2 weeks of fall camp.
Yeah.
He wants to have this done with 2 or 3 weeks left before their first football game for the team to know who the guy is and to roll into that week 1 cupcake and know who the starter is going to be. So that'll be very intriguing to see. It looks like, and even based off his comments at SEC Media Day, it kind of felt like they were leaning towards Mac. That's the way I felt. I don't know how Alabama fans feel listening to this today. I'm sure they will correct us, rightfully so. We like to be coached around here. So that's Alabama. We talked about LSU. Ooh, speaking of quarterbacks, have you noticed that the Florida fan base has long had their guy?
Yeah. It's been consistent.
Yeah, at least that. It has been consistent with this. There is no doubt about this. They are so far down the Tramel Jones bandwagon that if and when they do choose to make Aaron Philo the starter, I think there's going to be a large contingency of that fan base that's upset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
all based off on-air throwing clips, by the way.
Yeah.
Because it looks pretty. It does look pretty.
Yeah, but it was funny too because even though I've been seeing majority of Tramel Jones love, I also saw some people criticizing him for simply not knowing what a drill was, where they were doing layered throws. There's a net in the middle of the field. He airmails the net because he's supposed to. It's a layered throw, and they're like, this dude can't even hit the net. And there's no like – so I don't know. I see some polarizing opinions out there, but majority of the Florida fans that I do see online, they like Tramel Jones, and there's reasons to like Tramel Jones, but I'm still a believer that Aaron Philo will be the starter.
It also sounded like at SEC Media Days when you talk to Florida people that it's not just the fan base that likes Tramel Jones. Apparently a lot of his teammates love Tramel Jones.
That makes sense.
And he's been there longer, right? Philo's the newcomer, but it sounded like the team had the back a little bit of Tramel Jones, but they'll ultimately have the back of whoever the best quarterback is, whoever's making plays. That's all that really matters. Dallas Wilson's back, fully healthy. I saw him catch a tunnel screen. Quote tweeted with, "We are winning the MF and national championship."
You know, and again, going to the consistency part, Florida fans have been doing this. Like every little thing, like you talked about it with the water bottle pop for whatever reason that got Florida fans all excited of, oh, we're so back. John Summerall popping off the water bottle top in his first press conference.
It's like, what?
So Florida fans have been consistently doing this, and I get it. You got some new life in that program. You got a new face of the program. There's a lot to be excited about after some few seasons where it felt like you were just going to be doing the same thing that you did the previous season. So I get it, man. Get excited about it. Be all here for it.
I had one more thing. Florida offensive line is trimmed down tremendously. I think their right tackle, number 65, has lost over 30 pounds this offseason. That's bullet point A. There was a lot of body fat on that football team. We knew this. We knew this over the years with Billy. We're like, why are you playing a 450-pound nose tackle? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Why are you allowing all these players to constantly put on bad weight? What are you doing? And then John Summerall comes to the podium today and says that, or maybe yesterday, and said that in their 4 core lifts, bench, squat, power clean, and deadlift, they gained 14,000 pounds on their maxes as a football team. In one offseason. In 7 months, they got 14,000 pounds stronger.
Wow. What was the other guy doing?
I don't know. I don't want to make that joke. I don't even want to make that joke. It's so sensitive. So sensitive nowadays. Yeah, he wasn't doing his job very well.
He wasn't.
That guy was not doing his job very well. Florida is going to be the same or even more talented than they've been in years prior, and actually be a football team that lifts weights, it sounds like. He also revamped the entire weight room.
You know, yeah, I was about to say, Summerall even kind of threw some shade at the guy.
Yeah, he did. And to the men who are balding. Did you see this?
No, what?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, we had this random patch of turf inside our weight room, despite the fact that we had a full turf field right outside the doors of our weight room. And then he said, it's kind of like that guy who has one patch of hair left on the middle of his head. And it's like, man, why don't you just shave that? Yeah, so if you are prematurely balding, John Summerall wants you to go ahead and come on home to the bald the bald country. Easy to say for a man with a head full of hair. I'm just going to say that. Let the men do whatever they want with their hair up top.
Let's see what a few years in the SEC does to you, Mr. Summerall. Let's see. Will that hairline still be holding strong?
Let's see what – we ain't even got to make it SEC. Let's see what Power 4 coaching does to you over the next 5 years, because some of these folks look like they age like presidents. I'm talking about overnight within 4 years, you gained 40 years. There's one guy out west that I feel like looks like that. Hell, I feel like Kirby did this. I feel like within 5 years, Kirby was like – went from looking like a young, spry 32-year-old, even though he took the job at 38, to you look like a football coach now.
You look like you've been here for a minute.
You look like you've been here for a little minute. And, yeah, this job will do it to you, all the hours and the lack of sleep. Former strength coach at Florida, poo-poo. That was the notes today. Let's go to Big Ten country. Stephen Daly back in practice, ready to go. Out there hitting the bags, doing all that good stuff. We didn't get a ton of footage out of Indiana football. Never really will. They probably weren't out there practicing long enough for us to get that much out of it anyways. But, yeah, Stephen Daly back. And Holden Stays, the tight end from a year ago, who didn't play a ton because they had number 37 playing a lot for him last year. Holden Stays looking to return to college football, which might as well have been the tweet that he is returning to college football. I would imagine, because like we talked about last night, they have 3 freshmen, 3 redshirt freshmen in that tight end room right now probably do need some experience at that tight end position.
My question with this is, like, how does Indiana have space on the roster? That'd be my question.
Jonathan, and Kirby talked about this in his press conference today, some of these schools operate well up against the roster limits. Some of these schools do not. Some of these schools constantly operate with lesser bodies. And we stumbled into this with Indiana when we talked about their offensive line. They only have 13 offensive linemen on the roster. They have the smallest roster in the Big Ten. They also have the smallest coaching staff in the Big Ten.
What's the advantage of having the smaller roster? I guess in case something like this happens?
The way I think about it is like smaller classrooms.
Yeah.
Like the advantages of having a smaller classroom. When you have a smaller classroom, you get to teach to each individual student at a much higher rate. I think that's the theory that they apply with this. We do more with less. We're always doing more with less. That's their entire MO up there with Indiana.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, there's that. Have you seen the post-practice press conference video of Xavier Atkins, the linebacker?
I have not. I haven't seen this yet.
That dude looks huge. He looks he was young last year, but he looked undersized last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a dog. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the best linebackers in the country even last year. But that dude has gotten so much bigger in one offseason, as has Elijah Melendez, the freshman that played last year, number 9.
Mm-hmm.
That dude looks big as hell. They both look like if you told me both of them put on a combined 50 pounds, I would not doubt it.
Oh, wow.
That's how much bigger they've gotten. So look out. Auburn's linebacker core, legit.
Yeah, really strong. I was a believer in that linebacker core. Even if they didn't put on that weight, I was a believer in that linebacker core. But Xavier Atkins putting on that much weight and good weight, might I add, it's somewhat terrifying for upcoming SEC offenses and offenses in general that will be facing that unit this year.
No doubt, no doubt. We'll see what the rest of the defensive backs look like, what the defensive line looks like as the camp progresses out there. We'll keep you in touch with what's going on all around college football. Let's do a little share screen, Jonathan, and let's show some love to our friends over at SeatGeek. We love our friends over at SeatGeek. Hold on, Jonathan. I'm connected to the wrong Wi-Fi again because we got 2 Wi-Fis in here now.
That's okay. The logo just gets some more love, gets some more screen time right
That's
now.
right.
That's not a bad
Let me
thing.
switch over here. We do love our friends over at SeatGeek with over 35 million downloads. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app in the world with over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and much, much more. Head over there today because guess what? College football is almost back. We are knocking on the doorsteps of you needing to run over and buy some tickets to your favorite football team's next home game. We should have the stream up now. So let's go over to SeatGeek right about now and take a look. What football team should we look at? We just got done talking about Auburn. What do you think Auburn's first home game cost? And you should know, with our promo code over at SeatGeek, Film Guide 10, you're going to get 10% off any purchase. So their first traditional home game is actually, it looks like to me, Southern Miss at Auburn. Let's take a look at this. September 12th. Looks like the cheapest ticket right about now is for $89. Oh, no, excuse me, $39. And look, I've set up in the bleeds up there at Jordan-Hare. Ain't a bad seat in the house out there at Jordan-Hare Stadium, and check it out right there. I mean, look at that. They even show you a picture of your intended seat.
Wow, that's so
over there
convenient.
at SeatGeek. And, of course, I have a code for you guys. Like I just mentioned, use promo code FilmGuide10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code FilmGuide10. Make sure you click the link in the description of this video to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you to our friends over at SeatGeek. Hey, our friends at SeatGeek, let's give them 3. It doesn't sound as booming and loud in here with just 2 sets of hands giving 3. Did you? Nah, I ain't even gonna say they stole it from us. Everybody been giving 3 for a long time.
We did not originate
My high school
that
football coach was out here giving 3 back in 2008. So everybody been giving 3. We love to give 3 around here. You ready to break some hearts, Jonathan?
Yeah, I am. I'm always
We're gonna
ready.
break some hearts and put some pressure on football teams right now.
Ooh, what a great combo.
It's window combo. That's what we got. We got window conversations because I do believe nowadays in college football, you do have a certain, it's almost like professional sports. You have a certain window that you can actually go and win. And if you don't occupy that window, it might close on you, but it might not open for a considerable time moving forward. But let's start with teams, Jonathan, that we think are at least 1 year away, that they're going to be a good football team this year, but their time to actually compete for a national championship is probably a year from now. And I'm going to give good vibes to this football program because the last time I said they were a year away, they ended up making a college football playoff. Do you remember this? The Tennessee Volunteers are a year away. And the last time I talked about this, they ended up going 10-2. They ended up going to a college football playoff. They ended up getting their doors blown off by Ohio State. But that's the topic for another day. You take a playoff today, but I'm telling you, you're probably a year away, and here's why. You're going to start a first-year starter at quarterback. I think it's going to be Faison Brandon. We forgot to talk about them in the camp observations.
Yeah.
Everybody blown away at the size of Faison Brandon. News alert, 6'4", 230, coming out of high school in Grimsley, South Carolina. He was big. He was always big, and he's always been talented, and I think he's going to be damn good. I think he's going to win that job out there. But anyways, you're going to have a first-year starting quarterback, all right, with a new DC on the defensive side of the football, and Jim Knowles is a year 2, year 3, continue to grow defensive coordinator. The verbiage is a little tough. I do think this narrative has become a little bit old with him, but I do think it is legitimate. I think it's true. When you talk or when you go listen to that Arion Carter video that we had with him, that interview we had with him, the verbiage out there is, I'm not going to say exhaustive, but it's rather lengthy, okay, or at least complex. I think they're actually like one word means this is what we're all doing, which can be very difficult. Whereas if you break the play call down, or if you break the signal for the play call down position by position, the defensive line only has to learn like 12 things.
Right.
The linebacker core only has to learn like 18 things. The defensive backs only have to learn like 5 coverages. Well, if we just one word call it, everybody's got to kind of associate that with their job, and that can make it a little tough. But once you get it, man, it flows really, really quickly. So I do think it is probably a second-year thing, maybe a third-year thing out there. You're still going to have Tristan Keys at wide receiver. And riddle me this, Batman. What do you think the odds are of Mike Matthews working his way into a first-round draft pick this year? And remember, this is a Jeremiah Smith draft. It's a deep wide receiver draft. It's a Ryan Williams draft. This is going to be a deeper wide receiver draft class.
I'd put it at like 10%.
I would put it at about 10% as well. I'd put it at about 50% that he's a top 3 round like evaluation after this year, and 100% that he is a draftable grade after year 3. However, $1.2 million come back to college, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's very believable.
Maybe not even that much. Maybe just give him whatever he's paying him now, come back to college, let's work our way into a first-round draft pick. Let's assume Tristan Keys and Mike Matthews are back next year, and Braylon Staley, just a redshirt sophomore right about now, right? So we really get the opportunity for our freshman quarterback to grow, our freshman 5-star wide receiver really grow into year 2. We get the 4th year of Mike Matthews. We get the 4th year of Braylon Staley. We get the 3rd year of David Sanders. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're really shaping up to be a damn good football team in 2027 and a pretty good football team in 2026.
First year of David Gabriel George.
Oh, talk
I mean,
DDG
just add on to it a little
talk
bit.
DDG to me. Talk David Gabriel George to me.
I think that's easier.
I think it is too, honestly, than the DGG thing. But yeah, I think the window for Tennessee is actually next year. I think the window this year is 8-4, 9-3. Like, we'll be a good, tough out, like we talked about in our tiers talk the other day. But I think the opportunity to potentially compete for a national title or a serious college football playoff run is probably in 2027.
I might get a little bit of heat from my first one because I know that some people have set these types of expectations on them this year, and if it doesn't happen this year, then it would be a failure of a season. I'm of the belief, though, that I think I'm going to end up believing in this team more next year than maybe I do right now, and that's the LSU Tigers. Like, I think they have great pieces. They're going to be a good football team, but I would also sit here and tell you, like, if they're 9-3 this season, that's a successful season for Lane Kiffin year 1, I think. And as I say this, too, because I know that they're going to continue to recruit better. Like, there's belief there. People believe in Lane. They want this to work desperately, so they're going to do anything and everything that it takes for it to work. I just think that they might be better off next season to maybe be one of these national title contenders, and I'm more comfortable saying that next year than I am this year. Because, I mean, I know this isn't Lane Kiffin's first year as a head coach, but it's his first time being at LSU. The schedule's pretty tough this year. I think they might be better off next year in that national title conversation.
You know, I'm looking through my college football playoff predictions thread right here, and I don't see a lot of heat from LSU fans for not having them in the mix. I can't gauge that fan base right now. I have no idea what their expectations are. I think they're just happy Brian Kelly's not their football coach. I think that's where they're at right now. I think they're also happy that they stole from Ole Miss. That seems to be the theme. What is the narrative around LSU football? Ole Miss. That is the fan base's narrative right about now, right or wrong. But that seems to be all I see on my timeline is we're still talking about what happened in January.
Would this be the only season where LSU fans would rather be Ole Miss and Alabama?
Yeah. I think if you called 100 LSU fans and you said, would you be happy if you beat Ole Miss but lost to Alabama? They would say 99 of the 100 would be like, yep.
You think it'd be that high?
Yep.
Gosh, that's crazy to think about.
Isn't it?
That's insane.
I don't think we've ever been at that point.
No,
in this
definitely not.
Ever. So, but no, that's exactly where we're at, I think. Despite the fact that I think Bama's won that game the last 4 years. Alabama hasn't lost to LSU since 2019, I'm going to guess.
Let's see. Matchup history. Scroll down a little bit. Of course, it starts there.
2022, so says chat.
Yes, 2022.
We must have a.
That was a 3 overtime game.
Oh, so narrowly. Okay, but yeah, no, I mean that's 3 years in a row.
I mean, LSU has only won that matchup twice since 2012.
I don't know. I might retract my statement.
I know.
There.
That's why I asked
might retract my statement there
because I felt a little crazy asking that question, and I think how it would go is the older LSU crowd would say, hell no to that. We want to beat Alabama every year. To hell with what they got going on at Ole Miss. But maybe some of the younger crowd would be like, no, we have to beat Ole Miss this year. It doesn't matter.
Shout out Ryan Mel with the super chub. He says, sorry I missed the stream when y'all crossed over 100,000. Congrats. The results haven't always been linear, but y'all's work has been. I've been a patron and a subscriber since the Auburn game in 2020. Been a wild ride and only better things to come. Ain't that right? All right, I am going to put a hold on all congrats, milestone talk. Like, we're on to the next one. I tweeted about this after I got done with the show last night and all the thanks, and I appreciate that. On to the next one. We have much bigger things planned for this network, much bigger, loftier goals than 100,000. It was a tremendous milestone to reach. We're waiting on our play button. It'll get here ASAP. I'm going to be busting down doors to make sure we get that. It's going to go right there, right next to Johnny's head. All right, is where we're going to put that sucker. But no, we're on to the next one. So I appreciate all the love and all the congrats, but we're moving on. 2027 and beyond, I think, is the actual – look, Texas Tech's probably going to be a playoff team this year. I don't have much doubt about that unless Will Hammond is just not very good. But their schedule is extremely manageable. It's the easiest one in Power 4 football. They are going to likely be a playoff team this year. But I don't think they're a national title contender. And anybody other than Red Raider fans, I think, agree with that statement. I do think, however, with the way that they've spent money at the premier positions in 2026 and in totality in 2027 in their classes, I think high school recruiting and the way that you go about building your roster in high school ultimately leads to national titles. Like, yes, Indiana did a lot of portaling, but guess what Indiana is doing now? Indiana's recruiting the high school level at an elite level, at least from we're going to get 14 to 15 great high school football players, where the first 2 years with under Kirk Cinetti, it was like 27 transfers to 5 high school commits. That's not what it's going to be moving forward. Most of these guys in college football do truly believe, like I do, that championships are built off high school recruiting, getting blue chippers, developing them into what they're projected to be, and then adding pieces out of the transfer portal. Very akin to what Texas has done, right? Like, they've recruited inside the top 5 for 5 straight years under Steve Sarkisian, and now they go out and spend $18, $19, $20 million, however much it was, out of the transfer portal, and letting guys go elsewhere that were apparently asking for raises because they were being tampered with, per Steve Sarkisian. We're going to believe that, right? Yeah, we're going to stand by that. But I do think Texas Tech's national championship windows are in the future. I don't believe them to be that now.
I would agree with that sentiment. Another team that I think is next year, and I'm going to say this while also going ahead and I'm just going to give this fan base a given. Like, I'm going to say that this is going to happen for a fact, even though we have no idea if this is going to happen or not. In fact, I think most people are fearful it might fall the other way. The Michigan Wolverines are a year away from being national title contenders, and I'm giving you the fact that Bryce Underwood is going to take a step forward this season. Like, we know going into the 2027 college football season, Bryce Underwood might be labeled as the best quarterback in the sport. I'll go ahead and label that one for you. Like, that's what I'm giving them. Is that
Sagabatule will still exist in 2027.
I'm just saying, like, we're going to have good faith that Bryce Underwood is in a much better standing than he was coming into this season.
That's 100%.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that happens this year. So with that being said, knowing that you're going to get a year 3 of Bryce Underwood, he got better this season. He might be even better the next year. I think that you get another year of Savion Hyder up there. There's a lot defense is going to be good. Kyle Whittingham's going to be in his second year at Michigan. I think they're much better suited to be contenders next year than they are this year.
I've dumped the clip. You got another one?
I do. I have one more, and it's simple. It's simple math. In fact, me saying this might not even mean anything, because if I'm saying that the window is next year, not this year, this guy might not even make it to the next year window. It's USC Trojans.
Yeah.
If I tell you right now that the USC Trojans window is not this year, some people would tell you that, well, that means that Lincoln Riley will not be the head coach of the Trojans next year. And that might be the case, but simply off the fact of how loaded that freshman class is for them this year, I'll go ahead and say it's going to be next year. When all those guys have 1 year under their belt, all that, I think next year might be the window for them.
Big Booby Feaster guy, huh?
I wouldn't say that. I'm just a believer in the fact that they spent some goods on the recruiting trail, finally made something happen there.
You're forgetting to switch cameras over there, Chief.
Oh, I was. You're right.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, a little rusty on
First,
the sticks.
I made it 46 minutes without forgetting.
You did. A little rusty on the sticks, though. That's all right.
Just a little
That's all right. You should have seen the Wi-Fi guy in here today. He was like, what do you do? I'm like, just talk football. It's nothing important. You should subscribe, though. Now, those are the teams we think are a year away, all right? What teams, Jonathan, do you think the window is open right now, and if you don't win this year, you might look up and go, man, if we didn't do it this year, when are we ever going to do it? Starting with the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, I was about to say, it starts with Texas. That is the team. This is presumably your last year of Arch Manning. You get 1 year of Cam Coleman. You have all the pieces in the world, or at least that's what it feels like on paper. It looks like you have the roster to go out there and win a national title. And I think, based on what I've seen on the internet, if Steve Sarkisian wasn't the head coach, I think everybody would be picking the Texas Longhorns to be winning the national title, because the sentiment I've been seeing is, well, I believe in Texas's roster, but they have Steve Sarkisian. There's some Steve Sarkisian doubters out there, quite a few of them. So if that's the only thing holding them back, if it ain't this year, I don't know if it will be any other year.
We're going to break down Arch Manning pretty soon on this network, and some of the missed assignments up front on the offensive line would make me pull my hair out. I do not think last year they were this flawed football team from a roster standpoint that just didn't have enough to win. I don't think they were coached very well last year, and I'm going to show you that on that film study. Some of the stuff and some of the just basics that offensive line just ruined and failed to do from a down-to-down basis, meanwhile getting their absolute franchises just blown up in the face of Arch Manning, or in the name of Arch Manning. Like, that stuff was really, really frustrating for me to watch on tape as a film guy, but more really like my base in my home is offensive line play. And Jonathan's been in here for 90% of the film studies that we've done in here. Nothing makes my blood pressure rise more than offensive linemen missing assignments. Just basic stuff, like not being able to block power pass correctly, like not understanding that my gap is B gap, that I shouldn't be over here messing around in C gap. My job is down here. It's the reason coach has called this play. My eyes should be here, and if they're anywhere else, I'm wrong. That happened way too often last year. And again, I don't think it was because they just had a bunch of slappies out there playing offensive line. In fact, one of the clips I'm going to show you that really made me upset was Mr. Gooseby. over there at left tackle, just not doing his job, trying to do everybody else's job. Meanwhile, Mike linebacker runs through B gap and just blows Arch Manning up. And we don't hit a 65-yard touchdown because, well, we got our eyes in the wrong gap. That type of stuff has nothing to do with we're not good enough. We're not talented enough. No, I just don't think you were coached well enough last year. I don't think they did their job at a national championship level. And I think it showed up in their performances. You shouldn't be going to overtime against Mississippi State. We've talked about it enough. You shouldn't be losing to Florida on the road. You shouldn't be going into these situations and getting yourself upside down in football games that you have no business being in. They were one of the most talented teams in college football last year.
For sure.
And now it seems that way, them and Oregon, completely separated from a talent standpoint than everybody else, at least in my opinion. Texas's window got to win this year, as does Oregon.
Yes.
Oregon has to win this year.
Oregon, because, well, for starters, I think people kind of see them in Texas eye to eye in the sense of these are the two best rosters collectively in the sport this year. I think that's kind of what everybody would agree on, or how most people see it, I should say. But also, you got Dante Moore this year, probably going to the draft this year. What's the plan after that? I don't know. Like, are you comfortable saying Dylan Raiola is the plan, Oregon Duck fans, if that's the plan?
Maybe. I mean, they got this track record, Jonathan, at least once with, transfers sitting for a year and then balling out.
Yeah, it's true.
Rebuilding their image, despite the fact that they keep – why is he talking to the media?
I don't know.
Why is the backup quarterback at Oregon getting a microphone put in front of his face?
I don't know.
What is that?
That's a great question.
I can guarantee you this right now. It won't happen again.
I think too with Oregon with the roster that you have this year, not even just for like the fans' perspective of that program, but for the collective perspective of Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. If they don't do it this year, I think people will just kind of stop believing it will happen. I think people will stop believing and trusting that they are capable of doing that. And that's not to slight Dan Lanning. I'm a big Dan Lanning guy. I believe in him. I don't know that I would share that sentiment that it won't ever happen for them. But I think those opinions are going to start spreading across the ether quite a bit if it doesn't happen this year.
We had Ohio State on this list. I don't even believe it now that I think about it. Ohio State's window is always open. Yeah. Ohio State is, as long as I'm alive doing this, Ohio State will be good.
Yeah, and
they will be great.
And that's why, because I think you could make an argument that Georgia should be on this list, just considering the amount of talent and considering the amount of people that won't be on this roster next year that are on this roster right now. There's an argument to be made that this is a window for Georgia, and if it doesn't happen this year, it'd feel like a bit of a disappointment. But just like Ohio State, it feels like the window is always open for Kirby Smart, like it is for Ryan Day.
I would push back a little bit on Georgia. They're the youngest roster in Power 4 football.
They are.
So they're going to be all right.
But the pieces that are veterans,
right.
if you will, are
right.
really freaking good.
They're going to be up off this roster pretty quickly. It feels this way for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Notre Dame with the level of quarterback play that they currently have right now, I don't know when the next time they will have this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. It does kind of just basically hinge off of CJ Carr. Like you got one of these generational quarterbacks. That's how people talk about CJ Carr. And considering the history of that position for Notre Dame, this is the best arguably you've ever had, or at least in quite a long time. And that's not to say that you won't have another one in the near future, but considering where you have been and what you are now at that position, you better go win the dang thing, at least it feels like.
Do you think Oklahoma has a window that might be closing after this year?
Somewhat, yeah, I do. Yeah, I would agree. I'd put them in this category for sure.
Why?
Kind of similar to Oregon. I don't know what the plan is at quarterback after this. Bo Bentley.
Bo Bentley, baby.
I love Bo Bentley. Okay?
I do too. Bo Bentley's a dude.
But to have a playmaker like John Mateer and to have the defensive pieces that you have this year again, they'll be fine defensively under Venables. I don't question that. But you just feel like there's moments as a college football fan when you look at a roster and you kind of look at the players that those players played with. Like, for example, if David Stone were to leave Oklahoma without winning a national title with the pieces that he played with, like a John Mateer and all the other pieces they have on defense, it would be somewhat disappointing. Not saying that Oklahoma is just going to disappear after this year and they're going to be irrelevant. I'm not saying that, but it feels like it's a window year for them.
Okay. Biggest window in college football is USC.
I don't
believe that because I don't think it's open this year.
It's a pressurized Wednesday.
It's a pressurized year for them, but I don't think anybody other than USC fans think they're going to go compete for a national title this year.
I don't believe it.
I don't either. I think there's too many other great teams in that conference, particularly at the top, and they play all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. You got to go 9-3 and play the other games tight just to get into the college football playoff, and play those 3 losses tight, I should say. All right. Now, I know it is Wednesday, Jonathan, and I know we're big What If Wednesday people around here, but I think we need to hit this Bugatti in a trailer park.
All right, I'm with
this
it.
Is awesome.
I'm fair. I'm game.
Y'all ever drove through rural America, ride by a trailer park, and go, man, why are you living in a double wide with a Bugatti sitting in the front yard? Like,
Everybody knows the meme.
What's going on there? This is what we're talking about tonight. We are talking about Bugattis parked in front of a trailer park house. And I got the number one for this.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
I got $100 on the line for this, and anybody in the chat that can do this without Googling.
Okay.
Can anybody name me KJ Duff's quarterback at Rutgers this year? Without Googling, right now, $100 to you. KJ Duff went for a rack last year in the Big Ten.
Did.
Went for a rack at Rutgers and didn't get stolen away out of that program. Apparently his starter is going to be, I didn't even write the guy's name down.
I think it's AJ Sars or Sawarsi or something like that.
Okay. Where's Dylan Lonergan at? Is he at Rutgers with Shiano? Because if so, that dude's going to start, and I might owe someone $100.
Oh, he does play for Rutgers.
Oh, that dude's going to start.
Okay.
Might be giving $100 out. My man Nick on Fire. 910 Cooper had it first. We might be giving $100 out if I can prove and maybe get search history on your phone, because I think you cheated. I think you cheated, or maybe you're just a Dylan Lonergan stan like we've been a little bit too long. I've been on that spoon a little bit too long with Dylan Lonergan, to be honest with you. Sarars is his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, again.
Yeah, it's a Bugatti. That's a Bugatti parked out front of a trailer park. Cannot believe he didn't get poached this year.
Another
All Big Ten vote last year.
Crazy.
Like anybody from Rutgers that gets an All Big Ten is stolen normally.
I think he's like 6'6", 215,
Dude,
220.
he's a dog. He's going to be an NFL
massive.
football player. He's a freak. Bugatti in a trailer park.
My first candidate for this, and the way I stumbled into this one was actually a couple weeks ago. We were doing some type of show prep for a subject, and
Dude, I totally forgot about these rebuilds on College Football 27. 910 Cooper. I shouldn't be betting $100, but I said it, so I'll probably send it to him. I'll send it to him.
So I was trying to figure out some really good running backs that were at the G6 last year that that earned their right onto a Power 4 roster. And I found Cam Cook, who was an absolute dog last season, went for over 1,000 yards. I was like, surely this dude got poached by somebody. He did by West Virginia. Cam Cook at West Virginia, along with Amari Latimer, who was a recruit in this past recruiting class from the state of Georgia. Those two guys, sorry, West Virginia, but those two guys are a Bugatti in front of a trailer.
Did we break? I thought we broke down Cam Cook. I know I watched the tape. Did we release a study on him?
I don't know that we actually included him on the study, but I know we watched film on him.
No. He was included in the top running backs in college football study that we did, didn't he?
I couldn't remember because I know we cut a couple of them, but
okay. That tape is electric.
Oh, it's really good.
No. We definitely put that on there because we were dogging the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
The quarterback had him naked on wheels like 7 times in one football game.
That's right.
And never once hit him in stride. We definitely watched Cam Cook tape. That is a great example. JKS out there at Cal. No offense to Luke Hoy and what they got going on, but, hey, tremendous job keeping that guy on the roster. We'll see if you can do it through January this year. That is a Bugatti in a trailer park right about now.
Calvin Russell for Syracuse simply because a 5-star wide receiver ended up at Syracuse.
Damn.
Don't know that, I think you were saying pre-show, probably not even going to play this year because he's injured. Tore his Achilles, so not going to play this year.
Tore his Achilles in, the first practice of spring.
Okay, yeah. So, regardless, though, Bugatti in front of a trailer.
Now, this one ain't exactly a Bugatti. This one's more like that Honda Civic that's constantly driving by you that's modded out like crazy and sounds like, "Bark!" And you're like, whoa, something cool's coming by. Oh, damn, it's a Honda Civic. It's Micah Alejado out there in Hawaii. That dude's a dog.
Hey, a tricked out Honda Civic at Hawaii might as well be a Bugatti, right?
Fair.
Micah Alejado might as well be a Bugatti.
Well, I don't know.
Hawaii.
There's a lot of billionaires that are building bunkers out there in Hawaii. I'm sure a Bugatti's seen every once in a while driving around the mainlands or the islands.
That's fair.
Yeah, but no, this is that kick and ball. That kick and sling it.
This one,
Dead fly.
you thought you had the winner with KJ Duff, and I'm not going to push back on that one too much. But I think this one.
This is the dub?
I think this one probably takes it, and it's Deuce Robinson at Florida State. This dude went for over 1,000 yards last year and is back again for another season with Florida State. That's no slight to Ashton Daniels. That's no slight to Usmani Krama. Nothing like that. But Deuce Robinson playing for Florida State for a second season this year, that's a Bugatti of a trailer if I've ever seen one.
I mean, why didn't Oklahoma throw $2 million at that kid?
I don't know. And that's not – I'm sure
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
Maybe teams tried to poach this kid. He's just so loyal, but he's already transferred.
And you know what? To Deuce Robinson's credit, I maybe would have looked at that situation too and been like, I went for over 1,000 yards here. I don't know if I'll go for over 1,000 yards with another offense.
I went for a rack with Tommy Castellanos.
But I'm the answer here. I'm the number one option here. I am the guy here. Let me just do it again, up my draft stock. I'll get out of here.
That's tough.
Yeah.
You definitely win. Yeah, you definitely win. That guy's so good.
He is.
He's going to be an NFL football player. There ain't no doubt about that. All right, we're good. Let's toss to the local hour. We got a lot to talk about. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Oops, misclick.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog?
What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another loaded hour here on the Film Guy Network. It is the local hour. We finna talk that dog here on the network. I had a listener email me today, Jonathan, and tell me that their children sing the local hour intro music. They know it. They play it in the car. He listens to it in the car all the time. And now his kids are singing the intro music that we have here on the local hour.
That's awesome.
That's a damn good dog right there. That guy loves this place. And his kids apparently love this place as well. So shout out to him. All right, we got the local hour. We got presser notes, practice notes, maybe, most likely, a depth check here on the local hour. Jonathan, where do you want to start? Because Kirby Smart spoke to the media today, and I've got way too many bullet points here. And, by the way, we got 25 minutes at practice today.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did, dude.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did. You know how I know?
How?
I have my voice memos app up talking to myself into my own phone. And, yes, the timestamps on that are north of 25 minutes. They are 26 and a half minutes long, Jonathan Williams.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Brooks.
What?
Maybe Kirby Smart is losing his edge a little bit. Maybe he is falling off because 25 minutes.
26:06, right there. It says Butt Smear Heritage Hall 7, the seventh voice memo of practice availabilities that we've had in 7 years. Right there. 26 and 6 seconds.
He's officially lost the fastball.
Well, guess what? 101 painted on the black as we were leaving. Guess what he said?
Oh, what?
Leland, get these damn media folks out of here. We got work to do. He's still throwing heaters, brother. He's still throwing heaters. My favorite thing he said today was they were in the indoor because it was raining.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then the rain stops. It clears up. Whistles all over the place. We're outside. It's cleared up. We're outside. We're going to Indy's. And he gets out there, and the humidity is through the roof. It feels like you're being licked down here in Athens after that run. And immediately he goes, hoo, 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 hoo. We finna find out. We finna find out. Coach is hot. He's on the microphone just giving them hell. Kirby still got his heater.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
still
you
got
had
his
me
heater.
worried
Don't you
there
worry
for a
about that.
second.
No. Let's give you presser notes, and then we'll give you practice notes, all right? So he was asked, his opening statement, he wanted everybody to know that the first game played in Sanford Stadium this year is actually not Tennessee State.
It'll be the scrimmage.
No. That's not open to the public. Might be open to some glory folks, but that's not open to the public.
I have no idea what he's talking
You're
about.
not reading your emails, Jonathan.
I don't get these emails.
You're not a proud member of Dog Nation that's going to show up and support all things red and black. There's a soccer match going on.
Oh, I did see
inside
this from
Sanford
Josh
Stadium.
Brooks. I saw him tweet about this
There
the
is
other
a
day.
soccer match between Georgia's soccer program and James Madison. And they're looking to break the record for most people in attendance for a college soccer game. Do you know what the record is?
15.
22,000.
Okay.
22,000. So they'll be playing soccer inside Sanford Stadium. He mentioned the soccer coach's name. I didn't write it. I don't remember. Me no oblong ball. Me not no round ball. Any round ball, not the guy to talk to.
Chat, I meant 15,000 guys. I was not saying
15 is
15
crazy.
people. I meant,
15 people is
obviously,
crazy.
I meant 15,000. Come on, guys. I'm not out here disrespecting women's sports.
Yeah, first time in the history of Georgia soccer that a game will be held inside the stadium. The last time a soccer game was held inside the stadium, do you know?
No clue.
Come on.
Oh, for the FIFA World Cup?
Nope.
Olympics.
There you go. The Olympics. 1996. What were you, -2?
-4.
You're a 2000s baby?
I sure am.
Sometimes I think the world might have should have ended that year.
Whoa. Come on, man.
I'm just kidding.
You already fired.
You weren't around for that time.
You already fired one of your producers, and now you're saying the world should have ended before I was on the earth?
It was the easy layup joke. You weren't around for the time period at that point, but people legitimately did think that as soon as 2000, like the year 2000 hit, that the entire world would crash. That the world was just going to be dead.
Man.
Here we are, 26 years later, chugging along. But yeah, soccer match being played inside Sanford Stadium. Said we are moving on to a different phase. You know, they break their off seasons or their calendar into phases. Mm-hmm. There's the off-season workout phase. There's the OTA phase. And then there's the fall camp phase, and then there's the season phase. We are into fall camp phase. Said they're through the minicamp stage, most productive it's ever been. Ooh. From a standpoint of getting guys up to speed, going through what they call football, school, all that good stuff going on. Most productive OTAs that they've had. He also mentioned at SEC Media Days, I think he was talking to us when he said that he was spending his offseason tweaking OTAs because he doesn't want to do anything the same that he did last year. He's always looking to improve, and it looks like he found that improvement. Said he's asking his guys to have addition by subtraction. Subtract some things away from your life so we can add the good things that is football. Focus on these things that we got going on. Said, I'm asking each player to have addition by subtraction. You aren't in your normal bed. You're away. You're locked in. We've shown a lot of examples of pro players and pro teams and what they do in camp. This made me realize how bad it was at Auburn. I know it's a total caveat here. When Alex Golish said that he's putting his team up into a hotel for 14 days during fall camp, Auburn folks were like, my God, this guy is so innovative.
Reinvented the wheel.
This guy's reinventing the wheel of football. No, most teams put them up in hotels for fall camp. They want their guys isolated. They want their guys spending time with themselves or with their teammates, with their guys that they're actually going to go to war with. They don't want to have them out in their house doing God knows what when they're away from the facility. Nope, it's all ball for 14 days before school starts. That's kind of normal. I mean, hell, we even did that at Division II. Like, it's very normal football procedures. Not there. Said we're pretty healthy. Feel like we have a lot of guys that can practice. Still have a good number. How many people on the roster do you think they have, Jonathan?
125.
Ball knower.
Just a guess.
125 to 127.
Ooh, all right.
And people will say, whoa, I thought it was 105 roster cap. Nope, not if you're grandfathered in. Walk-ons were grandfathered in. So, yeah, they got over 125 football players on the team. Have to test the toughness. Got to test the toughness. We talk about grit a lot around here.
Mm-hmm.
Got to show some grit. I don't know about you guys, but when I say the word grit, I just got to say it like that. You got to grit. How do you say grit?
Grit. Got to have some grit.
Not a ball player. Schedule question. Mike Griffith tried to get him. Shout out Mike Griffith. Mike Griffith tried to get the sound bite. was lobbing it up. He's like, hey, man, coach, some of these other coaches, man, they're canceling Power 4 opponents to schedule Howard. It's been in the news a lot lately. People ducking the smoke a little bit, not trying to make their schedule as easy as they possibly can to make sure they carry favor and get into the college football playoff. Coach, what's your thoughts on people like that? And he went on to say, let's see here. They got FSU in the future, a home with Clemson. To each is his own, he said. Everyone has their own philosophy. The common denominator is that if you play really good teams week in and week out, normally that leads to you being a really good team towards the end of the year. They try to balance appeasing the fans versus staying healthy and avoiding the wear and tear, all right? Because he does believe that there has to be some give and take here, right? Like you have to show some love to your fan base to play good games. Like nobody wants 5 different matchups that they know you're going to win by 55 points. That's not entertaining. He does believe this is an entertainment business to some extent. He said the sooner we get to a format where more teams are in the playoff or more teams are rewarded for playing a challenging schedule, this stuff will get alleviated. Which is true.
Yeah, I agree with that. We've said it on here before. Whether it's going to be the committee actually recognizing strength of schedule and that being one of the premier criteria for selecting playoff teams, or until more teams are allowed in and how many losses you have matters a little bit less, those games are going to continue to go away, unfortunately.
I think this is the year we're going to find out whether or not strength of schedule actually matters. Especially down here in this conference, because there are going to be some additional losses because you added an extra conference game. Was asked about KJ Bolden and was asked basically how do you think he's done about living up to expectations, 5-star coming into college football. Any guesses on what he said?
We don't care about those expectations.
Nah, it was a layup of all layups for Kirby Smart. He said, who comes into this program without hype and expectations? Thanks to you guys. And pointed to the media. Thanks to you guys. And he was like, you guys do a great job hyping them up, and y'all do awesome. But KJ has probably had more than most because of where he comes from. He played some of the highest level of high school football and rec league football, youth league football. He's been a dude for a long time. That's me paraphrasing there. He's handled those things really, really well. Started and played as a freshman. He's matured from a standpoint of learning what being a good leader looks like. He had a great opportunity as well to learn behind Malachi Starks and Dan Jackson. My expectations for him are to be the best version of himself.
That's about what you'd expect.
A solid Kirby Smart speak right there. Was asked about Dante Dowdle. Said Dante is doing better. He's not with us and don't have a timeline for him being with us. The most important thing right now is that he gets healthy and can do daily functions. Was asked what the rest of the room's doing to pick the slack up there, if you will. Dwight has worked his tail off. He's one of the most explosive guys on our offense, and we have to get him more touches because of the explosives are that important in college football. He's had a great offseason. That room has a lot of unity in it. He said that room doesn't really root for self. They root for the unit, right? And there's not a lot of selfishness in that unit.
Yeah, I can remember Nate Frazier last year when he was getting talked about it looks like you kind of got pulled from the Alabama game after you had your fumble. What's going through your mind in that, this, that, and the other? And I can remember him saying, all that was on my mind was rooting for Chauncey. He was having a great game. I wanted to be there and support him for it. That seems to be the actual sentiment in that room is no matter who's on the field, no matter who's getting the majority of the touches that day, it's all about, are we doing our job as a unit?
And to that point, I even remember Chauncey going to bat for Nate because he got lobbed one of those questions. It was how do you go pick Nate up when he's obviously going through a fumbling issue? Was basically the lead in to the question from the media last year. And he was like, whoa. Nate's great. Nate's a great running back. Nate it does not, that's in the past. And it went to bat for his own teammate. I think that was a sign of what Kirby's talking about right there. Was asked about Kyron Jones. Kyron Jones been dealing with a lingering injury. He got a foot. I've been dealing with a foot. Hopefully he's got 2 of them. But he said he's been kind of on a pitch count lately. We are starting him during the fall camp in the same mode on a pitch count. He's been ramping up a little bit, but he's not back to 100% from a normal practice reps standpoint. It's a very sensitive injury, he said. It's tough to monitor. It's very frustrating for him. He has to do non-impact conditioning. I think that means he's riding a bike. He's not able to go out there and do high-impact conditioning, probably not able to run stairs and things like that. We want to give him a chance to compete. It's a lower extremity injury.
All right.
He was out of practice today.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, in a regular jersey. He wasn't in a non-contact. We'll get to that when we get to practice notes. Was asked about the safety room. What are the 3 things you think a safety at Georgia has to be able to do?
Cover.
Yep.
Play the ball.
Yep.
Communicate.
Nope.
Force turnovers.
Tackle.
Tackle, duh.
You got to be able to play man-to-man. You got to be able to tackle. You got to be able to play the ball in the air. If you can't do any of those, if you can't do all 3 of those things, you can't play safety at Georgia. He went on to say, if you can play the ball in the air, if you can play deep safety, if you can play man-to-man, and if you can tackle, we'll teach you what to do. We'll get you up to speed with regards to what to do. But those are the 3 things that if you can't do all 3 of those things, you ain't going to work. I thought that was interesting. Other running backs, Bo Walker and Jay Lamar. He was asked about that. Also was asked whether or not you spoke to Jalen Walker yesterday after the knee injury. He said his heart felt for his family. Jalen understands what football is, meaning like football is a physical sport. I love this, though. He's the ultimate optimist. I guarantee you Jalen Carter's walking around with a smile on his face, or Jalen Walker is walking around with a smile on his face today. Jalen is not defined by football. He's defined by something much greater than that. And then went on to say, I feel really good about the guys in the running back room, but I don't think we've had a large enough body of work on some of those guys to know where they're at. Obviously talking about Bo Walker and Jay Lamar. Was asked again about KJ and some leadership moments, and he talked about how they're going through walkthrough processes right now, and KJ has no bones about, letting people know. Letting people know that they are not meeting the standard. I think he said he is not afraid to confront and demand excellence from the guys around him. He holds others accountable while also being the example as well. He said there's not one instance of that, but he does it every single day. Was asked about Lawson and the tight end room. Said it's awesome. It's a really deep room. They've got a tremendously talented room. But if you chart – I thought it was interesting. If you chart explosive plays, that room doesn't provide most of them. You have to be fast. Like they don't run 22 miles an hour, I think is what he said. That room is here for the grunt work. They can be explosive if we run the football. Most tight end explosives come off play action. If we are able to run the ball, we can maximize one of our most talented rooms. It is a talented room, and it's extremely competitive. There's a caveat there.
What's that?
His name's Brock Bowers.
Oh.
Yeah, other than that, it's really hard to have the tight end room be the explosive room.
I'm not saying Kirby Smart is lying, obviously, but Jaden Riddell got to be real close to hitting those miles per hour.
He definitely does.
He definitely got to be at least close.
I think we're burying the lead just a tad bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, that guy could definitely be explosive for him.
That dude's going to get some tight end rounds this year.
Like, come on, man.
That dude's going to be running the ball off jet sweep actions.
Like we saw in the spring game.
Oh, that arc release of Elias Williams.
Where he's blocking 2 dudes.
Blocking 2 dudes like it was nothing. Yeah, man, that's going to be in the playbook this year. Oh, speaking of Riddell, was the next guy he talked about. He said he's had great off-season workouts. Strength coaches got up and spoke to our team yesterday, said Kirby Smart. They spend more time with our team than anyone else, and he was one of the 4 people that the staff spoke about. He's not a words guy. He's a standard setter and a leader by example.
Sounds like another tight end.
Don't do that.
I'm not. Whoa,
don't do that.
Hey.
Don't do that.
I'm not saying that's what he is. I'm not saying that's what he will
fair.
be. But when we're talking about explosive tight ends and who can really make an impact, doing some similar things that he was doing, just say it.
This is fair compromise.
Yes. Is it not?
Was asked about year 1 to year 2 growth, and he said it's not about time spent inside the program. It's year 1 opportunities growing into year 2. It's about when do you get your opportunities, because he's talked about this, and he didn't say this today, but the best experience is experience. The best growth thing that you can have as a football player is to actually play football. Yes, they practice hard at Georgia. There's no doubt about that. They get a lot of reps during practice at Georgia. But the best thing for your growth as a football player is to get on the field and play real snaps. So that's what he looks for. Guys that are actually playing and then expecting that growth in the second year. And he also mentioned how the year 1 to year 2 growth is different for the actual year 1, like your freshman year to your sophomore year, is very different depending on where you come from in high school football. He said if you got a guy like KJ coming from Buford, he kind of knows what it is. And he even went on to say with a guy like Zakai Helton. Zakai Helton comes from Carrollton High School. Like, buddy, he knows what good football is. He knows how to practice. He knows these things. Joey King's going to get that thing right? So, like, those things are new, not new for players, but if you come from a smaller school, maybe outside the state, there is going to be a little bit of maturation period, a little growth period for you when you get here as a freshman. But he said, I can't define where the actual jump comes for everyone. It's the opportunity that creates that jump. Was asked about the year 5 rule that we got going on right now, the Colorado rule. I think he was the question was a tad bit confusing because I think the person asking the question was trying to ask Coach, are you about to add anybody, but didn't want to ask that.
Right.
But luckily enough, the confusion in the way that he asked the question ultimately gave us the answer on both fronts. He talked about the actual rule, the year 5 rule that is going to be passed if the Save College Sports Act gets voted upon and passed through Senate and then passed through the House and then implemented around sports. He said it makes their job as coaches much, much easier because during this redshirting thing, he's like, there's no more red shirts. So I don't have to get to a point where, hey, so-and-so's played 3 games. Should we play him a 4th? Should we actually – he's told us that he wants to sit. Oh, this guy might be leaving. Oh, like, do we play him? That kind of stuff. There is no more of that. You either play as a freshman and you have 4 more years to play, or you don't play as a freshman and you have 4 more years to play. Like, it makes that process much, much cleaner for those guys. And I always thought, like, the 4-year rule was great from a standpoint of, oh, y'all play 4 non-con games. So you can get these guys into these games. You can get them tick. But also it creates problems where what if that guy all of a sudden has to play in the playoff games and now he's burnt up an entire year when we could have been playing him all year if we knew we were going to have to burn him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whereas, like, when I was in college, there were moments my redshirt freshman year where I knew I was redshirting where if we were up in the second half, I didn't even bring my helmet out. I let my coach know, like, this ain't happening. You're not burning an entire year of my eligibility to run me out on field goal PAT.
It is crazy how back then it was 1 snap.
Yeah.
If you played, it was burnt.
I had a buddy of mine that was exactly like this. He thought he was just being a good teammate in game 1, and our tight end goes down. He grabs his helmet, runs on the field, plays 1 snap, comes off, cooked an entire year of his eligibility.
It's crazy.
That's how it used to be. And now we don't have that. Now we have this year 5 rule. And also mentioned that, like, he insinuated that there is no room on this roster. There's no room for guys we mentioned the other day. No need to name them now, but there's no room to bring back guys that are now under this Colorado court ruling where they can come back. They're pinned up on it, is what he said. And they always operate like that until transfer portal time comes around. And then there's matriculation of the roster, ups and downs. Was asked if you are at the 105 limit and about Chris Cole. He says, this is where he said it. We're always at or around the 105 limit. We're always open to bringing on a new player if we have room. I think he was insinuating transfer portal time. I don't think – I think it would be – for Georgia, it would feel almost like mismanagement of the roster for those guys, the way they operate, to have room right now on your roster. Why would you have room?
Right.
And he said guys that do have the room and have maybe thought way ahead even of court rulings that we didn't know that were going to come down, he said those guys are way smarter than me. They're way smarter than me if they've gone about this offseason leaving room for guys to add on. And we talked about Indiana. They are a lower roster number total. They're under the 105 constantly.
Yeah.
So if Stephen Daly becomes available, if Holden Stays becomes available, they're going to have room. Whereas Georgia just does not. They carry, like I said, 125, 127 football players on their roster.
They also, at least in the past, probably not going to be the case this year, but in years prior, Georgia has had one of the biggest recruiting classes in college football. Like, they've been pushing 30 typically in those classes.
Asked about Chris Cole, he said, in terms of Chris Cole, I'm excited about what Chris can do. There's not a player in our building that is about the standard more than Chris Cole. The highest character guy we have. That guy doesn't save up anything. He even mentioned if the dude's running himself to death so bad in practice that he needs to go off and take an IV because he's cramping up, he'll do it. That we literally have to, like, back him out constantly of the gas because he just has no other way to play than with his hair on fire. So that guy doesn't save up anything. He embodies everything we want from an effort standpoint and comes from a great family. That dude is going to play football for about 20 years and make a lot of money doing so. As long as his body wants, honestly, he will play football at an extremely high level. I still don't think he's being talked enough about, like, nationally.
No.
I don't think the world of college football knows what this kid's about to be.
You know, it's funny that I think people have just kind of gotten into the mindset that Georgia is going to have one of the best linebacker rooms in the country. Because every time I see these linebacker room rankings, Georgia's 1 or 2. They're in the top 2 every single time. But then when it comes to ranking the best linebackers in college football, don't see a lot of love for Chris Cole. Don't see a whole lot of love either for Raylan Wilson, and both have deserved it. Both are 2 of the best linebackers that you will find in college football. But for some reason, the national narrative around those 2 players is, yeah, they're good because they play at Georgia, not because, like, those 2 players are special.
Like, Chris Cole wasn't even on the preseason All-SEC team, was he?
No.
Insanity. Absolutely insanity. All right, let's go look at some practice notes. You want to see these?
Well, this is what we want. This is what we're here for, man. Come on. It's first day of practice.
I buried the lead.
No. Kirby Smart Presser, that takes precedence.
Now, I'm trying to think. I'm not going to give out all of these because I think that would be demeaning to our Patreon audience that pays for these. So I'm going to give just some keynote points. What do you want to know about?
Not going to know anything about the quarterbacks, like quarterback 2 or anything like that. Who was running back 3?
Peanut.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you what, noticeable weight.
Dude,
noticeable weight on the kid.
Because I saw
no
this.
longer a little nut.
Knew that was happening. I saw the thing that people do on social media where they take the true freshman year picture and then they put the side by side of him in year 4 or year 3.
Scott Sinclair in his bag.
Yeah, those like you never know if you can truly believe those pictures or not. But when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, like that is a noticeable difference for him. So I'm glad it actually showed up on the football field.
Yep. I did the bar trick with Bo Walker on myself. I said in my voice memos, I was like, that dude's got to be 210 pounds, 5 foot nothing. And I looked down on the roster, 210 pounds, 5 foot nothing. That dude is a fire hydrant. He is so thick. Good luck tackling him.
As I said,
it is very short area quickness too. Not a big long speed guy, but that dude is thick.
I was going to say that bodes really well for what it seems like his role is going to be at Georgia. Not to say that Bo Walker couldn't end up being like the lead guy in the room at any point in his career, but it seems like Bo Walker is going to be the guy that you put in the football game. He's here to pick up 5. He's here to pick up 7. But bottom line, he's here to pick up positive yards, and we know he can do that. That's going to bode well for him.
Now, when Chris Cole is inevitably a top 15 pick this year, and when Raylan Wilson is inevitably a top 3-round selection this year, and when Justin Williams comes back next year, and when Zayden Walker gets playing time, I know who the next one's going to be. It's Nick Abrams. Oh, yeah. I don't want to give all of it away, but I don't think there was a body that changed more in the last 7 months from what we saw during bowl practices to what I saw today than Nick Abrams. I couldn't stop looking at him.
Like a little thin and lanky probably when he first got here?
Yeah, to an extent, but like, dude, we're vascular. We have muscles on top of muscles. I think somehow we found another inch. Like, that dude is going to be special.
Arguably, one of my favorite tape from last year's class was Nick Abrams' tape. That tape was electrifying. I really liked his tape from high school and from his senior season. So glad to hear that their linebacker room is going to be just fine moving forward still.
I need to find a quote or a comment here because it's the second or third time I've seen that request for a shout-out for him. And I don't see the quote or the comment. It says, tagging Justin Halverson again for the shout-out. He's coaching his son, and their team lost badly. The guy needs a pick-me-up.
I did see earlier something about that as well.
Hey, Justin, you'll be all right. This too shall pass. Too shall pass.
The Film Guy Network crew believes in you as a person, so hopefully you believe in yourself as much as we believe in you.
Facts. Well said. Elias Williams looks a lot bigger, but we knew that out of spring ball.
How's that possible?
Just thicker, you know. I think he was like really, really thin in the lowers when he first showed up. Not anymore. Also, Kirby got on the microphone and said something along the lines of, Elias, make sure you show everybody that you are the one who's in the best shape here today. So he must have had a great offseason as well. I'll leave the Caden Prothrow note for the Patreon audience. Wide receiver group was led by London Humphreys, Zacoby White-Helton, Isaiah Canyon, Landon Rolden, Tyler Williams. Then Craig Dandridge, Ryan Mosley, than C.J. Wiley and Talon Taylor during Indies.
Man, Tyler Williams, one of these players, kind of to the extent of Zayden Walker, where we just forget about him because there's so many names in the room and there's so many names to talk about. Tyler Williams was a guy that when he first got on campus, like I remember going to practice in the spring of last year, and all anybody wanted to talk about was Tyler Williams looks way different than any of these other guys in the wide receiver room at this moment. And he then gets injured, broke his own news on his injury.
Yeah, don't do that.
So don't think we have to worry about that happening again. But, yeah, had an injury, kind of a little setback for him, I'm sure, a little bit. But a name we aren't really talking about getting – I remember, didn't he start in the slot for the G-Day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like –
with the ones.
I'm sure that he's going to get burned, and we haven't really talked about
I forgot
him.
Thomas Blackshear in that because he switched numbers on me.
Yeah.
So that's always going to be something that I miss. Number 2 now. Looks big. Let's see here. Oh, your boy Drew Miller had an absolute boomer.
Yeah.
A nuke came off his foot.
We got Drew Miller notes in the practice notes, baby. I'm here for it.
They also got punt returner notes in the practice notes. Yeah.
We're going to give those or we're going to save them?
We'll save them. I mean, it's a hot button issue. That's money bringing in right there, teasing that one.
Sure is.
I don't want to say that one. That's for the Patreon audience only. I don't like to be negative on the live show. I will say this. If Joseph Jonah Ajonye's lower half ever looks like his upper half, that guy's going to be the next Myles Garrett. That dude, from a physical standpoint, what he looks like.
Yeah.
When we see photos of Myles Garrett, everybody's like, oh, my God. That guy's built in a lab. From the waist up, Joseph Jonah Ajonye is built in a lab. From the waist down, not that big. I don't know what that is. Huge feet, though. Huge feet, little lowers. Not huge quads and hammies, not big calves on the kiddo, but upper body, my God.
Well, I know he's not skipping leg day because that's not allowed at the University of Georgia. So I know that's not the problem.
Well, for JT Daniels, it was.
Is that like a known thing?
Yeah. JT Daniels was classic. Man, Coach, I don't know if I can squat today. I got some lower back tightness. Oh, we're running sprints. Ooh, my hamstring is awfully tight all of a sudden. Yeah, that's part of the reason why he ended up kind of losing that job, to be honest with you.
I got you.
Because the other dude, Stetson, would have played through anything, and I'm pretty sure did.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the MO at the quarterback position since then, but especially now. Let's see here. Big Kamari Brooks guy. He was a friend of the show when he was in high school.
Yeah.
He ain't going to show up in these comments no more.
We knew eventually one day it was going to be Kamari Brooks' last show for a minute, or at least last show showing up in the chat, showing some love to us.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad that a player like that is working out because I remember last recruiting cycle when it came to the edge room, everybody was freaking out because Georgia's missing on all these prospects. Doesn't look like they're going to get any of the top-end guys in this class. What are we doing? We're losing out on all these recruits. And Kamari Brooks was like, this is the guy that they want. This is who they're targeting right now. They're going to get him, and then they'll try and fill out the spots elsewhere. And he's a homegrown talent from right down the road from the University of Georgia, was a good football player. Like, when you turn the tape on, what you saw was that's just a good football player. Like, that guy knows how to play ball. He knows what his job is, and he does it really, really well. I'm glad that's working out so far.
They needed it too. They needed it too. I think they've done a really good job in that freshman class. I'm not going to say curving misses, but making sure they're whole. Does that make sense?
No, it makes complete sense.
Because Kirby's talked about this. They're not a process football team. They're not going to process football players. They're not going to say, oh, you've been here 12 months and you haven't gotten any better. Get out of here. They're not going to say, oh, you've been here 24 months. You're not what we thought you were. Get out of here.
Right.
That's not what they do at this place. And when you're not going to be one of those football teams, you're not going to replace them with a portal addition and then claim that players were tampered with, then you kind of have to make sure you hit on the next person at that spot. And they've done that to an extent. Let's see here. Dinkins has put on some weight. He looks good, despite the fact he's in 14. I liked him in 27.
I did too. I thought it was kind of nasty.
Yeah, I'm with you. Not as big as Zach Fort, though. Zach Fort might be the biggest nickel they've ever had.
Yeah, I could see
Not
that.
named Mark Webb. Mark Webb is huge. Mark Webb's like 6'3", 210.
Yeah.
But this guy's like 5'11", 210. This dude is thick. So there's that. My man Jimison. from Paulding County.
This is the one, baby.
We still need to lose some baby fat, but hey, I hope it works out.
Do yourself a favor right now.
Go watch some Tyreek Jemison
If
huddle.
you have not, if you missed the night that we watched Tyreek Jemison tape, if you missed all of that, when this live ends tonight at 10 o'clock, treat yourself to some Tyreek Jemison tape and tell me you don't fall in love with that prospect, because, boy, I did in the first 15 seconds of it.
Treat yourself 2026, y'all.
Missing me with that one.
You're not a Parks and Rec guy.
Nah, I'm not.
Boo.
I'm not.
Boo. 2 Colt Scouts in attendance today.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it might have just been their area for the day. Because if I'm going to watch a Georgia practice, I'm going to make sure them pads are on.
Facts.
Because they some dogs. Let's see here. No need to tell you whose ankles were taped. You don't need to know that. Not on a public forum. The Alabama A&M transfer is a quality body. I forget his name.
Richardson or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Jaquez Richardson, I think.
I'll go with it. Yeah, let's call it that. All right, I think I'm good on these practice notes, Jonathan. I think we need to do some time depth checking right about now. Kirby Smart, if for some reason you're listening, even though at SEC Media Days you swore you didn't, look away. Look away. We're finna do something you hate, which is talk about your depth chart after going to seeing your practice.
It was Tyquez Richardson. So
and by the way, Kirby, this was on the show sheets well before we had practice availability. We was going to do this today no matter what, even if you didn't show us what practice looks like. So, here. Oh, Mike Bobo's got a mustache.
Mike Bobo has one. Gunnar Stockton has one. I think even Ryan Puglisi had a mustache as well. Maybe it was just a little quarterback room thing.
Yeah. Yes, J-Mo, we talked about the icy white uniforms yesterday. Let's go to the board?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right, so we are going to start with the offensive side of the football here. This needs to go that way. We're going to start with the offensive side of the football. The black marker is out. So let's start with the offensive line. Let's go left to right or right to left. What you want?
Left to right.
All right, left to
That's
right.
how you read.
I'm going numbers, and I will tell you names. All right? By the way, Donnie Glover's still in practice jersey 63.
Okay. I hope we stay there.
I do too. Looks good in 63.
I agree.
We'll look good in 58 as well, though. One thing that's fun to do is go back and look at some of these high school photos of these guys, and you can tell who's a smiler and who is not. I don't want my offensive linemen being smilers. I don't know about you. I want them to just look like they hate life and ready to hit somebody. That's what I want. Donnie Glover's I'm ready to hit somebody. You were out there at that Grayson scrimmage
Sure
with me, weren't you?
was.
That dude's a dog.
Yeah, he was.
Juan Gaston is this way. Never smiles. I don't think Juan Gaston's ever smiled in his life. Drew Bobo don't smile. I love that about those guys. They're dogs. All right, let's go with it. 71, Ernest Green, going to be your starting left tackle. Don't think he leaves the rotation unless he's banged up for some reason or another. All right, let's call it 63 right now, /58, whichever number Donnie Glover is in. I think that's going to confuse people.
Yeah, just put it 63.
Yeah, 63, Donnie Glover is going to be your starting left guard. Don't think he leaves the rotation. 74, Drew Bobo is your starting center. Okay, no doubt about that. I told you, I think Zakai Helton's going to take a job. I think he might have already taken a job. All right, I think Zakai Helton's going to start for this football team. He's going to play 3 years, and then he's going to go to the NFL. That dude is a freak.
So,
okay? Probably the most athletic offensive lineman they've had in a long time on the interior.
Are you telling us that the Juan Don dreams might be dead?
Don Juan?
Yeah, Don Juan.
Yeah, it's Don Juan, not Juan Don.
What you know what I meant.
Don Juan? Yeah, Juan Gaston's playing right tackle.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And I don't know the full backup depth because I didn't really dig deep. They didn't give us that. But I will tell you this. I think it is Cortez Smith's job as a backup center. And I think it is Ja Jackson. He's 64,
I think.
Is going to rotate in at tackle. These are your 7. Okay. You normally travel 8 to 9. So we'll figure out who the other pieces are as camp continues to progress.
He's 64.
Here's what I will say. Graham Houston, number 69, that kid's going to play. He looks like he's going to play. Ekene Agboko, he wears 72. That kid's going to play. He looks like he's going to be a guy. All right, so maybe if I were to project it today, that would be kind of the rotation of football players that I think you're going to have.
A lot of young bodies already showing up and looking like they're going to play.
Yeah, they've tended to hit on the offensive line the last several years on the recruiting trail. And most of these guys were 3 stars. 3-star, 3-star, 3-star. Right? Oh, 3-star. Hey, man, 3-star U.
Yep.
3-star U, number 1 offensive line in the SEC coming back this year. So,
I mean, to be fair, Jaw
bad.
Jackson not ranked.
yeah, Jaw Jackson,
Wasn't even
former
ranked.
basketball player, not even ranked, all 6'11" of him. All right, let's go into the slot. It is Zacoby White-Helton's job to lose. Okay, so there is that. Let's talk about tight ends. I'm just going to write all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They're all going to play. Okay? I had somebody ask me about this. Did y'all skip over the position battles of the tight end? Yes, because the battle is how many of them can we get onto the field? There's too many of them that are way too damn good. Lawson Lucky, Jaden Riddell, Elias Williams, Ethan Barbour, Caden Prothro. Like, they're all going to have to play. By the way, Caden, save that news for the Patreon audience. Okay? So that's our slot position. Our Z position right now is London Humphreys with, I would imagine, Talon Taylor behind him and Landon Roldan. Maybe these 2 guys kind of pigeonholed together as that who's fighting for playing time right there. Your X right now is Isaiah Canyon, and I don't know who's going to back him up right about now. You're hopeful from a recruiting standpoint that it is C.J. Wiley, but I would imagine there's a battle going on right now between he and Thomas Blackshear. Did I miss anybody?
I mean, Tyler Williams.
Tyler Williams is over here. He was the number 2 Z during the spring game.
I was going to say, I feel like most guys that are going to get playing time at Z are also probably going to be fighting for some battle at slot as well, as you draw that on the board.
That's a great point right there, Jonathan. It's not Zacoby's job and alone Zacoby's job. I also think number 80 right here, as we saw during G-Day, Caden Prothro is going to get some burn out there as a mismatch tight end. Okay, let's go to quarterback. I think it's 14, Gunnar Stockton, obviously, and I do think there is still a battle between Ryan Montgomery and Ryan Puglisi right there at that quote-unquote backup spot. And then I would probably go Buddha and then Bryson Beaver, okay? Pretty solid room, okay? But we need to get some playing time for these football players. They got to get comfortable. All right, it's obviously the 3 and 5 show over here, followed by Dwight Phillips, followed by Bo Walker. Okay?
Nice and simple.
By the way, the Nick Peel kid, huge. I'm talking about massive. Sawed off, not quite 6 foot, but I'm talking about big dude. Wearing 30, by the way. I'm sure he'll change numbers at some point in his career if we actually start to get some tick. Did I miss a position? I think that's all of them.
I don't believe so.
Oh.
Ooh. Oh, you tell me we're running the I this year? We're going to get in the I formation?
You ran in the red zone last year.
It's true. We did.
So I think they're going to find fun ways to get Ethan Barbour on the field in a multitude of ways. I loved what Lawson Lucky had to say about him today. Said that he thinks Ethan Barbour raises the team more than anybody else in their room. That dude is full of juice. Now, he was asked, like, who is the juice guy on offense? And he said, he wears number 3, and his name is Nate Frazier. He said Nate Frazier is, I think the direct quote was, Nate's even louder in person than he is on social media.
Nah, that's a great way to put it.
That is a great way to put it. All right, so take a quick mental image there of what's going on, and let's flip over to the defensive side of the football. Nice and easy, huh? Mm-hmm. Man, we got great, what do you call this, studio props up in this joint.
They're even saying that your penmanship has improved.
Dubious. Absolutely dubious of such claims. Absolutely dubious of such claims. By the way, when I wear this shirt in public, you know how many people walk by me and go, oh, death row, sick. Like,
Not quite.
You missed it, Bubba. That is not what this shirt says. All right, let's talk about defensive side of the football. This is the 94 and 90 show this year. Ain't no doubt about it. All right, this is the Xavier McLeod and Elijah Griffin show. Everybody else fighting for playing time. All right, when it comes to the 3 technique position, I think it is a combination, and I'm writing these in any given order. I think it's probably going to be Joshua Horton, and then we'll see how healthy Jordan Hall remains throughout fall camp. Now, here's where I think the real battle is. What number? Nnamdi wears 95, correct, Jonathan?
I'll look that up.
I think he wears 95. The real battle is who's going to get those other nose tackle reps behind Xavier McLeod. Is it Nasir Johnson? Is it Nnamdi Agboko? Both players, by the way, listed at 340 pounds.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, both of them are large. Who do you think is the heaviest player on the roster? Listed.
I would assume Nasir.
Nope. There's a 360-pound player on the roster.
I don't know.
Juan Gaston.
Whoa.
Juan Gaston listed at 360 pounds. Now, he is 6'7", so we're allowed to be that heavy. And he does look good, all right? Let's go to the defensive end position. We know who that is. Mm-hmm. That is one Sir Gabriel Harris, and he will not be coming off the field. On the other side, it is Quintavious Johnson, and he will not be coming off the field. All right, now his backup, I would imagine right about now, is Chase Linton, okay? And then behind him, I saw Ike Nagbon working with the outside linebackers, and I saw Kamari Brooks working with the outside linebackers, okay? Now, over here on the interior of the defensive line, I saw J.J. Hane, who wears 96, and Joseph Jonah-Ajonye, who wears 99. Those two will be battling to replace Gabe when, he takes 30 seconds off. All right, and then behind him, I'm going to go 29, Isaiah Gibson. Isaiah Gibson was working with the interior defensive line today. These guys were over here with Larry Knight, as well as PJ Dean. Is PJ, right? Mm-hmm. That is the brother of Jared Wilson.
Yes.
They same mom, different dad.
I believe
think
so.
Is how that works. But anyways, he was over here as well. But this group, I was surprised to see Isaiah Gibson over there with the interior defensive line group. That was kind of new to me. I thought we thinned up coming out of high school to maybe play off ball. We talked about this last night.
Yeah.
He was over there with those guys. All right. Let's go to the linebacker position. That's going to be 5 and 9, and then 19 will be first up off the bench. Terrell Foster, ladies and gentlemen, is going to play this year.
Played last
Finally.
year.
Played last year, but I think we're actually like legitimate tick this year. And then, of course, Zayden Walker, who wears 10. And then 13, Anthony Crew is going to be in the mix. And then Nick Abrams is in the mix as well. Best unit you have on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah.
I think.
For sure.
It is the Ellis Robinson and DeMello Jones show. What number does Braylon Conley wear?
I think it's like 26 maybe.
24?
Maybe 24 sounds right.
Braylon Conley, per sourcing,
He is 24.
is going to be the first man up, okay? We talked about this the other night. I think actually Kirby hit the nail on the head. He was like, that was his pick. I think you and I both went Gentry Williams.
Gentry Williams and Jonte were the two that I mentioned.
Yeah, they think it's going to be Braylon Conley from what I talked about, or the sources that I talked to. Now, it is over here at the star position. It is the Khalil Barnes show this year. That is his spot to lose. I think it's very hard to project who his backup is right now because we don't know who's going to actually win the safety spot.
Right.
And then whoever doesn't win the safety spot will probably start to cross-train down there at the nickel spot. So let's just leave number 7 over there by himself. Though I will tell you, I think Zach Fort is a nickel only right about now. Okay, he's just so big. I don't know if they can have him playing deep safety right about now. Speaking of deep safety, it is the KJ Bolden show. Everybody knows that. Now, beside him, and I'm going to need help on numbers right now, it is a combination of Zion Branch. What does Jamarlee Riddle wear? I know Dink wears 14, huh?
Jamarlee's 12, isn't he?
He wears 12. I don't know if I saw him today, but there's a lot of people out there.
It is 12.
It is 12. Jamarlee Riddle and, Tyreek Green, which, by the way, I would imagine that's a possibility. As is, that's a possibility. As is, that's a possibility. Hell, this might even be a possibility. I wouldn't even be surprised if that dude would come out here and play it. Tyreek Green going to play some damn snaps this year. I just don't know where. Did I miss a spot? That's 2 safeties, a nickel, 2 corners, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers. That's 11 players.
Now, you might want to just leave this one for Patreon, but there was another true freshman that you were kind of loading up on as well.
Bro, not from this earth. Not from this earth, Justice Fitzpatrick. He is not like you and I. He does not come from this place. He is not of this planet. For those of you who don't know, I don't even want to, if you're squeamish, don't do it. But you should, and you haven't even seen it.
No.
The video of his knee injury is one of the worst knee injuries I have ever seen. He was out there balling today. I mean, and it was in December. And I think it was, I want to say it was ACL, MCL. Like, we didn't just get one of them. We got both of them. So, and we back. We back in a little knee sleeve. doing T-cuts, running up out the breaks. That kid is going to be a unicorn on this football team in a couple of years. So, yeah, man, it is one of them first world problems nowadays at the University of Georgia. They got plenty of football players, ain't no doubt.
Yeah, and honestly, a pretty good spot to be in right now when you kind of break down the depth chart of usually at the beginning of fall camp, there's like a glaring issue on the roster of like, we have no idea who is going to play here. Don't really have that issue right now. You kind of know who the names are going to be at least that you need to watch out for that position, but there's not like one of these of it's up for grabs. They're trying to find anybody to go and win that job. You don't have one of those spots right now on the roster necessarily.
We only gave you about a quarter of the details that we gave the full audience over there on patreon.com/Brooks Austin. And I would say about 20% of what we continued to add in discussions in our Discord over there, patreon.com/Brooks Austin, where you get my unfiltered opinions, things that I feel like I'm safe to say behind closed doors. Not that I curtail my opinions on this place. You guys kind of know by now how I am. All right, we missed path to the playoff, preferred path last night. We skipped over that. We had too much to talk about, and we didn't get to it last night, Jonathan. What do you think is the most preferred path this year in the college football playoff? Not to play in the Sugar Bowl.
Funny you say that. So this is assuming that Georgia plays in all 4 rounds, might I add.
Okay.
So, I'm just going to assume that Georgia does not get a first-round bye. In fact, that might be the most desirable position for a lot of you because there's a lot of talk on you don't want the first-round bye. You actually want to play from beginning to end in the college football playoff, despite the fact that Indiana won the national title last year with a first-round bye. But I digress there. So, first-round matchup, the most ideal position to be in is you get a home playoff game against the G6.
Yeah, there's no better spot than the 5th overall spot.
No. That is the dream position to be in. So that would be a home game. You get an electrifying environment in Sanford Stadium this year against a G6 opponent who you're probably favored against by 30 points in the playoff, and then you move on from there. And you're right, Brooks. In the second round, the most desirable position to be in is anywhere except the Sugar Bowl. It's gotten you twice. People don't like it. Probably want a good shakeup of don't have to travel to New Orleans this time.
Yeah,
maybe
I've had
somewhere
enough
new.
of Harrah's Casino. I've had enough.
You know, I haven't gotten the privilege to go the last 2 times, so maybe I differ there. But you know what? For the sake of everybody, I think people would like to see Georgia playing somewhere else other than New Orleans.
We prefer another casino.
Yes.
Much
Yes,
more
we
friendly to the Film Guy Network.
I agree. Now, for the semifinal matchup, this might sound a little crazy considering what people think about this team
By
this
the way,
year.
chat's saying Sugar Bowl's 3rd round this year.
Okay. Well, I thought that might be the case, but again, anywhere but the Sugar Bowl. For the semifinal matchup, again, this might sound a little crazy to say considering what people think about them, but considering your history against this team, I think you'd like to see the Texas Longhorns. I think you'd like your matchup against Steve Sarkisian in that offense, considering what you have done against him in years prior. They haven't ran the ball against you. They really haven't been efficient at all, offensively speaking, against the Georgia Bulldogs. I think Georgia fans would like that. Semifinal round, knock out the favorite, if you will, if you want to call it that, in the semifinal round. And then I think this is best case scenario if Georgia gets to the national title, because obviously you're going to be very upset if Georgia does not end up taking home the trophy if they make it to the national title game. But I think in this situation, you'd be a little more okay with the other outcome against the Oregon Ducks. I think if Georgia makes it to the national title game and they were to lose to the Oregon Ducks, I think part of Georgia fans will be like, you know what? If we aren't the ones taking it home this year, good on Dan Lanning. We're glad that guy finally got his national title. I think they would be somewhat okay with it, despite all the antics of, it's 4 in a row for the Big Ten. The Big Ten owns the SEC, all that jibber jabber, whatever you want to call it. I think that'd be best case scenario. And again, if you were to win, Kirby's reign over his former coaches would continue to reign dominant. So that is my dream playoff scenario for the Georgia Bulldogs this season.
Heck yeah, Jonathan. We're going to do this. I'm going to open up all questions to the chat right now. Don't even have to super chub it. I'm taking all questions from the chat right about now. AMA. Ask me anything you want right about now about Georgia preferably, but anything you got, we will answer right about now. Have you seen, while I filibuster and let those fill in, have you seen the reactions? I guess they should have been predicted. the reactions from people clutching pearls about the white jerseys and white helmets.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the biggest gripe that people have with it is that we're wearing white uniforms at home. I think people expected it to be on the road. But my entire take around this is Kirby Smart challenged the fan base to literally pay to see these jerseys. You had to pay for a subscription to get these jerseys. I feel like it's only right that if you had to pay to see these things, that you get to see it in person in Sanford Stadium, that the majority of the fans that are in the stadium that they're wearing these all-white uniforms, that it be inside Sanford Stadium. I think that's only right. I think it's fair to the fan base. I think it's fair to the fans that actually held up their end of the bargain and went over to Glory Glory and paid for a subscription. And also the other side note that I added yesterday of hopefully Western Kentucky doesn't wear red. It would look weird for another team in Athens to be wearing red other than Georgia. But yeah, I mean, look, Georgia's a traditionalist program, so then to be doing anything outside of that, you're going to get some fans that are like, why are we doing this? We don't need to do this. I hate this.
All right, they're starting to rattle in here. No, I will not be answering questions, Joshua Armstrong, about up to something season. We are way too close to the finish line. Actually, most of those are we've received contracts, and we're currently maybe redlining some things that we don't like. At least my representation is. Thoughts on 2 9-3 SEC teams getting in the playoff? Not going to happen. There will be one SEC team, if there is at all, at 9-3 getting in the playoffs, and I would imagine it's Texas with their strength of schedule and their name brand and the fact that they got left out last year. Let's see here. What do you think of the stuff with Keemon Spell? I think it's really good news that he quote tweeted it and said, "That's not true. I'm all dog." But I feel for recruiting analysts that get a bunch of intel from a bunch of different places, and they're just reporting what they've been told. And I would imagine what happened there today is that Miami probably told them, or whoever it was Miami, right? Mm-hmm. Miami's right now trying to flip everybody. So they probably gave them a list of targets that they're trying to flip, no different than we got a while back with a list of targets that Georgia's flipping, right, or trying to flip. So, no, I don't. All you need to know about it as a Georgia fan is that he quote tweeted and said, "That's not true."
Yeah, I mean, look.
Which that happened last year with a Miami target, and he said, "I'm all LSU, go Tigers," and then 24 hours later flipped to Miami. So maybe don't feel great about it, but I think Keemon has been locked in with Georgia for a while now.
Keemon has been locked in. I believe he even went as far as to say that he's not going to be taking any visits whatsoever other than to Athens this season for games. So you have some solidarity there. But, I mean, guys, it's the number one running back in this class. And people view – and not only that, but people view Keemon Spell as being underpaid for what he is in this class. So the idea that he wasn't going to try and get poached or taken away from Georgia's class by someone like Miami – I mean, people are going to continue to sniff around that one, but the good news, again, is that Keemon remains solid in his recruitment from his words.
Who scores the first touchdown, Jonathan? Gunnar Stockton.
Gunnar Stockton QB run.
Yeah.
That's
pull it on a read option.
Yeah, something like that.
I like it.
Or
sneaky lost and lucky.
Fullback dive, Ethan Barber.
Ooh, Ethan Barber.
I thought it's Ethan Barber. I think it's Ethan Barber. I think it's Ethan Barber.
By the way, you think I'm airheaded and aloof and ADD during most streams? Tomorrow I have a dentist appointment where I'm pretty sure they're numbing half of my mouth at 10 o'clock. And she told me, yeah, most people get feeling back in their face by nighttime. Most people. So who knows? I might be tomorrow out here in this joint. It'll be fun, though. Again, no contract talks here. Let's see here. Shimano or Dawa, don't say lose. I'm a Shimano guy. Do you even know what we're talking about?
No clue.
Non-ball knower. We're talking about fishing, Jonathan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It sounded like I don't know. I know what you're talking about now. That sounds familiar.
Where are Brooks and Co. traveling this year? The boys will be at most Georgia games. Mm-hmm. I'm still up in the air as to where I'm going. It all really depends on up to something season. If we get what I think we're going to get done, I'm probably going to have access to go wherever I want, which means we're going to be going to some big-time football games. Not that Georgia doesn't play in a bunch of big-time football games, but we're going to be going to some big-time football games.
In other words, yeah. Brooks is saying he probably won't be there for the Icy Whites.
Yeah, probably not. Hopefully not, honestly. All due respect to my friends on the Western Kentucky staff that I'm sure would love to see me for 5 minutes before they go start poaching or looking at Georgia's roster for guys that aren't playing that might be Hilltoppers next
I'll
year.
get my greetings to them for you.
Yeah,
I'll
sure
say
you
Brooks
will.
says hello.
Yeah. How's Amaris Williams doing? And is Dwight Phillips' weight increase really as noticeable as it looks in pictures? Yes, we talked about that in our Patreon notes that we gave you, our practice notes. I don't know the update on Amaris Williams. Maybe bowl season, but
maybe.
Guys, he's got another year of eligibility. I don't even want to play with it.
Yeah, if he's gonna play, it better be like he is 100% healed. Like he is good to go. Like he's 100% ready.
Where are you going to put that play button? Right over my big fat head, so you know every time. Hey, these guys are something. By the way, I've always thought that if someone YouTube, if it says they have 100,000 subscribers and they don't have a play button, and it didn't just recently happen, they've been over 100,000 for a while, and that play button's not sitting in the shot, Fugazi. Fugazi. Because I'm going to tell you what, as someone who has built this place purely organically, every single one of those 100,000 subscribers are built off of us and the algorithm. There has been no rub. There's been no other major company that's ever pushed us. Nothing. It's been all us and all you guys. Nothing's going to make me happier than to put that thing on the wall and show you that. Nothing. So if they don't show you that, they probably didn't get one. And YouTube does do, we're going through right now, a review process. Once you hit 100,000 subscribers, YouTube starts to look through your channel to make sure you're not Fugazi. And if you are indeed what you say you are, you get the play button. So we are what we say we are. Is the Film Guy Network hiring? I need a job. Unfortunately, not right now. We're going to bring on probably both of the interns that have been cutting clips for us. Might half and half them because one of them has prior obligations. He works in another line of sports media, and he's going to be busy during the back half of the season. So I think we're going to hire one of them for the front half of the season and the other one for the back half of the season. They've both been doing a great job. Let's see here. Do any wide receivers eclipse 450 yards this year? Yeah, like 5 of them. 4.
I hope so.
Like 4 of them.
I sure hope so.
What kind of juice does Larry Knight give the edge room? It was hard to tell today, to be honest with you, because I was just out there by myself, and I was doing more of the things that Kirby hates, which is checking depths. But no, a lot of juice from a refinement skill set and standpoint. I mean, this dude had, I think, the number 1 mid-major sack production unit the last 3 years.
I believe
or something
so.
like that. It was insane stats on their productions. Let's see here. Do the Dogs have a 1,000-yard receiver? And if so, who? What about a 1,000-yard back? Could have 2,000-yard backs.
Way more likely you get a 1,000-yard back this year than you get a 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, I'm not banking on this year to be the 1,000-yard receiver.
No.
Let's see here. How do you think Gunner will fare against the Venables defense?
I think it's more so how does your offensive line fare against those guys? That's a bigger question to ask so far. They create a lot of havoc. If Gunner can stand back there and operate the offense and he's not running for his life constantly, I think he'll do just fine, but you got to start there.
Did Gunner really have a noticeable zip and accuracy on deep balls as proclaimed on social media? I don't want to speak for other people, but they threw screen passes.
I was about to say, did you see one?
They threw screen pass during the 26-minute time period I was out there. They threw screen passes to the backs and to the wide receivers for their what do they call that? The Memphis drill, the 2-over-2, spit the ball out in the flat, make people tackle. It's a tackling circuit. They did that, and then they spent 10 minutes warming up with other quarterbacks, and then that was that. So I
don't know.
Maybe somebody else saw something that I didn't see. And again, don't want to speak for other people's reporting. I'm sure they do a great job. I know they do a great job. You guys are very fortunate. Georgia fans are. I'm biased because I came up in this industry and on this beat. I don't think another football team is covered better than this one from their local beat reporters. Now, I say that because their jobs are harder than everywhere else, not named Alabama under Nick Saban. Like the job as a Georgia beat reporter from an access and from a sourcing standpoint and an intel standpoint It is incredibly hard. It is designed that way because they don't want news out. They want to control the narrative as much as they possibly can, as any football coach probably should, unless they need the media to drive narratives for them. Georgia doesn't need that. Kirby Smart doesn't need that. They win. So they don't need none of this narrative pushing. So they don't need to be letting you into the facility when recruits are coming in. They don't need you interviewing recruits after football games. They don't need you sitting at practice for an hour and a half with your video camera over there tweeting out photos or videos. That's not what they need. They don't need you at all. So it becomes a really, really hard job. Yet you guys know more about your football team than 99% of the sport. That is a testament to your beat reporters. They are really, really good at their job. And that's not even myself included. I'm talking about the other people. Mm-hmm. They do a great job on this in this space. Bunch of goats on this beat. Let's see here. We're already at 10:04. Is there a good one that I'm missing in here?
I'm sure there's some great
question. Glamonte. What did Glamonte ask?
He's asking, realistically, is there a huge difference between number 1 Ohio State, number 3 Georgia? National names seem to be the edge for Ohio State.
I think the only difference there is they have Jeremiah Smith and you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the best way to put it.
So that's where I'll go. You good?
Yep.
I'm good. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, Drew Mestemaker tape. And y'all better show up and watch it because that dude spins the laces up off the pill. So come hang out, man. Come watch these film studies. I've been telling y'all, if you're watching us right now, if you've probably been sitting here for 2 hours and 5 minutes listening to us yammer, I need y'all to show that ferocity with these film studies because the subscribers that watch, if the subscribers don't watch, they don't put it in front of new people. So I need you guys to at least watch through that stuff and just leave it up in the corner of your windows during your work day and let that time retention go up so we can get that put out for the masses. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. We'll see you next time.